Hey, Mother Lover, how you doing? Hope your Christmas Eve is going well. Happy God King Zaz. Emperor! God Emperor Zaz. Hey, Yin, how you doing? Yeah, had a great day. Welcome, everybody. This is the episode 180 of the Crystal Chronicles. This is the pre-show. We are going to be waiting for Mino for a little bit. So I figured we'd jump on and do the event and all that kind of stuff. While we wait for Mino to pop on. Or just try to get through as much as of the event as humanly possible. There it is. So maybe we can do something. Mission dungeons! Do anybody remember what mission dungeons are? Remember Kate Seth had a mission dungeon? I smell treasure, Koopo! Oh, look, it's cabbage. It's poison ivy. It's there. It's weird. Weird infinite Earth where poison ivy's a large man, but whatever. Yeah, there's stuff you gotta do. I don't even remember what it was anymore. I'm going to have to change my party setup, aren't I, though? It's kind of annoying. Oh, crap. Here we go. 2 red crystal users. Perfect. Perfect. Hey, Drez, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. How's everybody doing? No, just waiting for Mino. Mino's going to be a little bit late, so he's in traffic right now. So he will be joining us when he can. And we will start the show at that point. And until that point, let's auto battle our way through this content. Hey, thank you Summon Biscuits for the subscription. Appreciate that. Thank you Drake for the subscription. Taking a break from farming the same chaos co-op over. Yes, we sure are. Taking a break. Oh, we're playing the cave cactus. I don't know. There you go. Thank you Streamlabs. Oh, goodness. Thank you. How's everybody else doing tonight? Hope you're doing well. Let's see what this one is. Black crystals. Can we do black crystals? Anybody? 2 black crystal characters. Golbez is black. Squall is black. There we go. Black crystal users. Level 70 content auto battle. How's your auto battling mission dungeons going? I hope it's going well. Might be a rough divide between those with extended rosters and those newer players. See what I did there? Hey, Tree Void, how you doing? Thank you, Steve, for following us on Twitch. We are on Twitch and YouTube right now. We are in a hype train, too. Really, only 2 subscriptions for hype train? Thank you, Jake. Merry Christmas to you. Yes, have a great night. Get some sleep. Check out the podcast. It will be available in all your favorite podcast apps, hopefully later tonight. Kuro, thank you for the follow as well. Thank you. I know Lids is streaming. I don't know if anybody else is streaming. I'm sure people are doing their polls. I'll say that for a little bit later. Of course, we have the podcast. We will be recording when Mino is with us, which hopefully won't be too long. He is stuck in traffic. So, you know how it is. LA traffic, am I right? Chris, I'm sorry. I see that you've come down with the sickness. Everybody, check out our good friend Chris5258. He streams on the Twitch as well. Not just Defo, but other things, I believe, as well. So, yeah, I don't understand it. We're probably going to talk a lot about it tonight because, man, I hate me some Jegrans. But hey, Tree Void, thank you for the subscription, and thank you for the Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to everyone from Tree Void. Appreciate that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You've been playing First Soldier. Yes, I have seen that, yeah. Enjoying that? Enjoying First Soldier? I've not had a chance to play it. Kind of a busy time of year for me, but you're enjoying it? I don't know really a lot of people that are playing it, so I assume a lot of people are playing it, but I just meant I don't know personally a lot of people who are playing it, so. Always interested in new Final Fantasy. New Final Fantasy games are as good games. Deus. Deus, I would say Merry Christmas, but I don't know how you feel about church. Well, so I'm pretty okay with it. Given where I literally am right now, and my profession, I think I'm okay with church. Some days, it depends. There's good days and bad days. I'm literally on church property as we speak. On church property as we speak. Streaming from the basement of the church. Need a new damage dealer. Yeah, no, Jake, I think that's a good idea. I really think, for the majority of players, it's good to pick up, choose one. Machina, Null, Lock. Choose one of those as your damage dealer. And I think Machina is the best investment because we know he's useful in Shinryu, but I mean, if you know you're going to go for Titus and get if you already have his BT, you're going to get his FR, you could probably just pick on Locke if you want the most broken. But personally, I would look at all three of their kits and kind of decide which playstyle, watch some videos, which playstyle is best for you. I think Machina is easiest to play. Locke's a little bit more complicated. I think Null might mean a little bit more support. But, yeah. Yeah, Chris says it's slowly getting smoothed out. Have to play a few times a week due to the ambassadorship. Yeah. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'm sure if you don't like the Battle Royale games, it's not going to be for you. Ragnamune, welcome. Glad to see you on YouTube. Thank you, CSAM, for the subscription. 150 tickets for Zaz LD. One Jegran BT on the way. Merry Christmas. Jegran BTs for everybody. Hey, face down trap card. How you doing? Thank you for the follow. Yeah, sorry to hear about that, Ragnamune. Hoping she's feeling better so soon, that's for sure. It's a scary time. Our hospital is at 106% capacity. All ICU COVID cases, very scary. It's all Delta. 100% capacity in the ICU, all Delta, all unvaccinated. Those are the people in the hospital. Obviously, other people have it, but I'm just telling you that's not spinning. I've got insiders in the hospital because I work with the hospital and work with people who are sick and people who die. That's what's going on here. May be different where you are. That's just today. I live in Illinois, Deus. Live in Illinois. Northeastern Illinois. I live outside of Chicago. Hey, Kevin, how you doing? Good to see you all. What are the freaking colors I'm supposed to do with this? I got a red and a black. Red and a black. So here's, let's do, red and black. And somebody to support. No, let's do somebody to support them. Who's a good throw in here support? Let's do Kistis. See if we can auto battle this. Is this Cosmos? Yeah. Can you auto battle Cosmos? Are we at that? We're at that auto battle Cosmos point yet? Let's find out together, friends. On this Merry Christmas Eve. Let's find out together. Yeah. No, I'm like one of the easiest people to find online, so. Hey D, how you doing? Luxac Jegrans BT, so I ticketed his kid. Hey, yeah, why not? Why not? Nothing wrong there. Didn't even use a book. I don't blame you that at all. Yeah, I wouldn't have either. Man. No, I mean, yeah, we're gonna get into it on the show whenever Mino gets out of traffic, and he comes on. We'll talk more about it, but I just don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I just got Jegran. This makes me bleh. I don't like it, sir. I don't like it. That's all I got to say. How's this soloing Cosmos going for me? Is it going well? Anybody got to the Lufenia Plus yet? It's garbage time, so it's probably auto battle that too, huh? I think Jegran and Rude on the same banner. Wonderful banner. Great banner. Great for beginners, except it's not. No one should pull on. There's no redeeming quality. I don't know. If you're a veteran, you shouldn't pull. If you're a beginner, you shouldn't pull. I can't even imagine if you're a fan of the Crystal Bears, shouldn't pull. If you like interesting kits, you shouldn't pull. There's nothing. They should have just thrown for a loop. They should have done a early GL exclusive BT instead of Jegran. Or Jegran, excuse me. Jegran. That's how he laughs. Yeah. Not as cool as X-Death. Similar, not as cool. X-Death's cool. He's a tree. Dress him up like he's a Christmas tree. It's awesome. Jegran. I don't know. He's just lettuce. Just lettuce head. Not sure. Yeah. Love's Inclination by Approaching Nirvana. Oh, goodness. So, hey, saw the Spider-Man movie. That was pretty good. It's really good. Boys and I saw that this afternoon. Really, really awesome. I enjoyed it. I'm a big Spider-Man fan, though, so. Rude was one of my first fully maxed characters. Accidentally pulled his whole kit trying to get Sephiroth. Still hold a special place in his heart, but he's so lame. Yep, I got Reno and Rude. I like the Turks. Lord touch me. How you doing over on the YouTube? Thinking about a challenge. Because if it's not obvious, I hate Jegran. One of these days I'll get it right. And did I get all the requirements for that? Yeah, looks like it. Awesome. Did I win? Am I winning? Is this fun? We have a good time, don't we? What are the conditions here? We got red and white. Did I use jet? I did. No, it doesn't matter apparently. Red, Yuna's white. There we go. Sweet. Just use 3 BT plus characters. Gotta get my Golbez out for some reason. So anyway, I hate Jegran with a fiery passion that just can't be contained or explained. It's irrational, complete irrational hatred. And so I figured, hey, I want to kind of boost our YouTube membership. You know, it's only 99 cents to become a member on YouTube. Going to try to do a couple more kind of member-only videos. Members did get the first look at the tier list. Do some other things like that. You get your emotes and all that kind of stuff. You support the channel. Most of all, that's important. But, hey, so I was thinking, do for the next, 11 days, do a sub drive, YouTube membership sub drive. Or YouTube membership drive. Membership drive? Yeah, membership drive. Choo-choo. 100 YouTube members. By the end of the Jegran banner. 100 YouTube members, I'll chase that BT. 200, I'll green it. 300, I'll blue his armor and run him with Sephiroth and Nida in content. There you go. No, you know, Ruin More. I'll come back to you, Deus. Ruin More. That's an excellent question. No, I don't. I'm not like Ink. Like I don't have any personal vendetta against Jegran. He just. We'll talk about it in the show. But no, mine is level 80. I have his EX. His 15 CPs maxed out. 35 CPs maxed out. His EX is maxed out. So like, no, I got boards. Whatever. No, I'm not worried about that. I'm not going to sell his weapons and leave him at level 1. No, come on. That doesn't hurt him. He's imaginary. Like I can't hurt him. I don't want to. I just think he's garbage. Yeah. Well, Rude wasn't terrible when he came out. You know, Rude wasn't terrible when he came out. He wasn't great. But he wasn't a terrible support, battery, healing, a little bit of aura, not much, but, you know, enough to be viable. He's just hasn't gotten anything since then. And there's just a lot of other characters that are better. I think that's just, like, he's not terrible, but it just feels bad to press any of his buttons. He's really not doing the kind of recovery, the overflow battery that he needs to at this point. You know, he's just kind of outdated. And that's why there's a lot of these characters that come back that are just, you know, they're just not getting anything. And that's okay. They're, you know, the EX only characters aren't getting anything either. And we're not complaining about them, right? So, but I mean, I don't think Rude, I used Rude several times throughout his initial run. He wasn't terrible. But you kind of had to make sure that you made use of his mechanic. Was there no, I don't believe, Reckless Harlot, I don't believe there's any, on the story chapters, no free 15, no Chocobo boards for him, no Chocobo panel missions or anything else. Yeah, his LD, yeah, right. Well, and a lot of these characters are getting LD boards. People make LD boards out to be, yeah, every once in a while there's a character that get LD boards and it's awesome, but take 8, for example. I mean, they're just bumping them up. Now, hey, thank you, Shelton, for the follow there on Twitch. Now, when it comes to C90 era, that's a whole different game. Like, people really do get nice upgrades. But right now, you're talking about your new LD, your BT Plus, but not even all the BT Pluses are going to be great. You know, Kuja's okay, unless you have, Bart's, then I'm not really sure why you would do Kuja, unless you like Kuja more than Bart's, which is fair, because most of us didn't play Final Fantasy V when it came out originally. I mean, most of you weren't alive, so that didn't matter. That wasn't such an issue. You going to bed? Love you. Good night. Don't wake up the whole house tomorrow when you get up, okay? Yeah. I love you. So, I don't know what's happening on the screen here. How many different things need to open for me to move on to the next thing? Ooh, 1,000 gems. Woohoo! Hey, powered or armor tokens. Need those. I do not have every armor purple yet. I'm down a few. So 10 tickets, yes! Woohoo! 10 tickets! Hey, look at red crystal, black crystal, white crystal. Here we are, folks. Perfect. Oh, this is chaos that I went into auto battling. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Probably won't be good. I love you too, J.A. Shout out to J.A, our fearless mod. No, I mean, what can you do with, when characters are returning, they're not all going to hit, right? And I don't worry about it too much because this game is so generous with bringing characters back and giving them another tune-in pass. You realize other games, take Brave Exvius, for example, you just get another version, second route, third route, so your old characters are just useless. Whereas this game, you have the same characters, you need to upgrade them, new weapons every once in a while. But here in the C90 era, no, you don't really need to do anything for a lot of these characters. That's why over the next 6 months, you could really, I think we sat down and tried to figure it out. I could literally not pull for the next 6 months and probably beat all the content fine with the existing BTs and LDs I already have, because so many of them are going to get upgraded to C90. So many of the BTs are going to become BT pluses, ones I already have. So that being said, I'm going to pull because you get 1 billion tickets, about 600 plus a month. So might as well use them. I'm not going to hoard them like Jin Lee, monster. Sogekin might be here. He's got like 5,100 billion tickets somewhere. Not me. I'm reckless with my tickets. I spent 100 on Jegrans banner just because I was bored. That's kind of how life goes. Now my gems, though. A lot of BT tokens. Yeah, there's a lot of folks on our you are really underselling just how little you could pull and make it to the final stretch. It's like, obviously you probably want to pull. I feel like I'm dying. I feel like I'm dying. Maybe auto battle wasn't the best move, huh? Man, go figure. Go figure. Why you gotta play me like that, monsters? Why you gotta play me like that? Why can't I auto battle chaos with 3 random characters? No, you're gonna pull, right? You're gonna pull over the next few. There's no reason not to. But you can really, really save. You can be very picky about what you're pulling. Very, very picky. Now, I think there are some characters you should really, really go for. Characters that you should really, think about. Let's bring stupid Golbez. Let's bring this team. See what this team does. We got, what else? Yeah, let's bring this stupid team. There's Kate Sith. Kachi! Where is she? There he is. You don't want Kadaj. Let's get Kurasame. I don't think they're immune to anything. At this point, you have just attack it down. Let's go. Oh yeah, I could probably just bring some twins damage. Yeah. What's up, Fade to Gaming? How you doing, Fade? Everybody check out Fade into Gaming on Twitch. Streams the Defo. I just burned through this. Hope you're having a good night. Remind me what any of these characters do. What's Yuna do? What's Yuna do? We're just hanging around. If you're joining us, we're just hanging around for Mino, moving through this mission dungeon before we start the show. 100 tickets and free multi-noza. Oh, man. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that. Did I not cheer? Crap. I gotta cheer, don't I? Do I have to cheer? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Can't auto battle chaos. But you probably don't need to think about it as hard as I just did. Yeah, that will happen to you. I think that's what I'm going to spend. I think I was going to do about 100 tickets on each of these. Just why not? See what I end up. None of these characters particularly exciting to me. That's probably I probably will green lock Machina or Null, but I probably won't do it. It will probably depend on who I pull on tickets, very truthfully, and which one I get on tickets. And if I get one of the kits on tickets, then that's probably the one I'll green and kind of use. Or I may just stick with Jet for the time being. Jet. Where's my Twin Moon? Here it is. Speaking of crappy BT pluses, Golbez. Y'all made me. And I shouldn't say you all. Shalaster made me do this. Oh, nice. Glad to hear you finished both those. Yeah, I've done, I did Malodorous Night quite a few times. And then, I've done, Jegrans Lufenia, I don't know, 7 or 8 times. Different challenge teams. I did it once with the Romp'em Stomp'em team, but then I've done it with several TCC Challenge Extreme. That's how bored I was. you know it's really garbage time when I'm doing extreme runs, trying to get Renoa through content without like characters that can get her through content. It was not good. If I may ask, what's the trick? Haven't been able to break down that wall. Which wall? What are we talking about, Bishop? Help me understand your question better, because I am not. What is the trick? Oh, which Lufenia Plus? The Lena one or Jegrans? We're going to talk about it on the podcast, of course, but I think the easiest way to approach it is to bring a really good tank like Orin. Orin can take it all. Zac can take it all. Their main hits aren't real tough. Or their regular attacks aren't real tough. So you need to be able to take the recast. Before 50%, it's AoE, so it hits everybody. And so anybody that does full damage mitigation is really good. You can use evasion, so Shadow can really be useful here. You just have to make sure that once he gets below 50%, it's a big single target recastability. It can really hurt you. Mino is he's in traffic, stuck in traffic. He's coming. I'm trying to think here. We're going to be talking about this here in a few minutes. I mean, Aura and Core plus any good damage dealer is great. You do have to manage the orb. I guess that's the other thing, right? So you can do that entirely with calls, or you can do that with a character in your party who... what will be my team for this Lufenia Plus? I have no idea. Because I haven't gotten there. Oh, hey, we're there. Let's find out together what my team will be. Because I haven't pulled yet, so it won't be Zaz. So you can use, Kadaj, X-Death, Kurasame, Jack, any call that puts a debuff that has a stacking mechanic, you can use, and you just have to space them out. Or you can have one of those characters in your party. Kurasame is not bad in this in party. Obviously, they want you to use Jegran BT friend. You can bring in early and leave him once he goes. The effect stays the entire time, so that's going to be fine. Dropman, I'm not solo. We're just waiting for Mino. We got stuck in traffic, so I figured I'd do the event here while we're waiting him before we start the show. Hey, Furry Tractor, how you doing? The other thing, you can do is obviously you can just bring triple BT pluses, kind of power through it. But they do have extremely high defense and they have a lot of HP. So you need a lot of defense down, and if you're not stacking your defense down, you need a lot of characters, a lot of good support. So, I mean, you can come on our Discord and check out, just tons of runs. And I went through and did tons of challenge runs with just crap characters. So, you just kind of have to manage the orb and then manage the defense. So, Mino, are you ready to start the show, or you need a few more minutes? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Just give me like 5 minutes of warm up.
Okay.
I guess.
Well, let me look at the fight here. So, yeah, okay, so, yep. Jet Porum Orin should be able to do that. You just need to time your debuffs real tight, or just bring a Jegran friend and then stack your debuffs at the end to get that defense down. This fight will be very easy. Player deals critical damage, critical brave hits. Great. Seems easy enough. Changes from modes, blue, green, red. Okay. Big laser. Okay. Sounds fun. Defense. Okay, so we want to do... we gotta... So they do tons of debuffs. They do big damage. So we can bring Orin for the first time here. They do... Where's my debuff queen here? Those are the big debuffs. Where's my Lena? Where's my Lena? I don't think... I can bring Kate Sith. I don't think I need to bring Kate Sith. Because, you're generally doing... critical damage. Anytime you attack a broken target, you're doing crit damage automatically. So, Kate Sith in the party would be good. Zaz in the party would be good. Oh, man, Tifa Cloud have that kind of stuff. Well, I get a friend too. Yeah, Kate Sith is 100% up critical. Barrett is a character in the game. Got some interesting choices here. Alright, well, let's see. Let's see where we go. Let's see. Let's see what we do. Prompto. Yep, Prompto. Yeah, there's a whole bunch. There's like 10 or 11 characters that do some crit damage stuff up. I don't have blue Lena. FYI. I don't know why I'm telling you. I just don't. I've considered it, but at the same time, I Oh, they have tons of brave. That's why. Oh, okay. Yeah. That makes more sense. Yeah.
Did you pull saws?
I have not pulled yet. No. Yep, they got crazy brave damage, so that's super fun. They may cleanse. I didn't look to see if they cleanse their debuffs. They may cleanse their debuffs. Yeah, man, the orb is not an issue, though, is it? Orb is not an issue. Let me break one of these idiots. I don't know how high their defense is. It might be high. I mean, it's Lufenia Plus. Their defense is not low. They're already at minus 10%, so it's not looking great for them. So, does she start with her special buff up? Right? Yeah, she starts, but she only starts with 2, 3, so we can do a rapid fire. Yeah. Yep. I want to say maybe they have cleanse. I was trying to read through earlier what their I'm not paying it. I'm not good at streaming actual gameplay. You all know that. I'm literally not paying attention because I'm trying to read chat and do other things. But I can do this. So anyway, I think they might cleanse. That's why I'm not doing the calls right now. So I just kind of want to see what's going on before I do that. Aranea debuff. Yes. Ruinmorn. Yeah. Aranea would be a good one too. Yeah. Even as a call, I think, right? You can bring that in. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I should do Aranea. Is my Aranea blue? She might be. Hey, K9, how you doing? Remember to break with Jet first. Always do a beast rush mode before I do a regular attack. Always be breaking. Is that a acronym? Don't bother with the Wheel of Time show. K9 where it says. Yeah, Aranea. Yeah, no, Aranea's debuff. Yeah, Aranea's, that's her. She relies on that big debuff. Yeah. Yep, that's her big thing. Ooh, Manifest Labyrinth. It's exciting. There's music playing, Mino. You probably don't hear that. Uh-oh, they just gained some brave. They're just doing damage. I'm not paying attention to the screen. It didn't seem to matter. So I'm waiting for their recast ability, because I know they have some pretty I think you can delete delay these guys. I don't think there's any penalty for delete delay in this fight, especially considering... Oh, the orb's gone. The orb disappeared. Okay. The orb is gone. Why is the orb gone? I don't know. But I should Jet Slash at some point, shouldn't I? Because that's where the damage comes from. So let's do that every once in a while. Just I'm wasting damage here. Yeah, I'm wasting damage if I don't Jet Slash. Dragon's Breath. Whew, look at that brave. Okay, one of them's getting close to getting a recast up here. That's what I'm waiting for, to see if they cleanse. I didn't see any, I don't know thresholds. Oh, well, they just hit a threshold here because they just gained 100,000 brave. So apparently when they hit, one of them hits 69, they get 100,000 brave. And the question is, can Jet break it by himself? Well, it doesn't hurt to try, does it? Give it the old college try. See what happens. Nope. That's not great. Not at all. They are a lot of brave. Apparently when they...
Why didn't you LD for the Insta-break?
Oh, they may be immune to instant break.
Are they?
Yeah, let's see. What mode are they in? Green mode. Does it tell you what green mode does? Oh, uses HP damage more frequently in green mode. It doesn't help me. Oh, they gain tons of defense. So you need to instant break. Let me try to instant break. Doesn't Jack instant break on his LD? Yeah. Let's see if it breaks. It did not break. That's exciting. This could be bad. Running out of one of his things, right? Need gravity to break them. All right. Yeah, Orin's not, well, whew. Unless he doesn't heal, he's doing fine. This is the new fight, the Mission Dungeon fight for the Zaz event that just launched 44 minutes ago. We will start the show, I promise, at some point in the immediate future. When exactly, who knows? New event. Woohoo! Orin's all healed up. No crystal requirement for the Lufenia Plus. No, that is correct. It's only for up to the Chaos. Let's see if they gain... There's my burst. See if they gain... anything interesting here? At 49%, so we know at 69% they get that big brave gain. The orb comes back at 49%, but they didn't get a big brave gain. I'm sure Excalibur's already working on the thresholds here. Power's at their highest. They do both have their recast ability up. So it'd be good to give them a little space between Orin. And always forget about that. Jet Slash instead of HP Plus. Does anyone go back and do base Lufenia? And I just played the Lufenia Plus 20 times. Isn't that what everybody does these days? Is that what everybody does? All right. We got them both. We can't do them back to back. That's not good. That ain't good. Oh, here we go. Big stupid damage. Big stupid damage. Bring in twins. Try to break these. Twins. Let me see if this does anything. May not. May have just wasted that ring unit. Yeah, that did not do anything. Awesome. So, this is ignores defense. Let me... I don't think they cleansed. So, let's summon. So that was at 39%. So 69 and 39%. Excalibur, if you're listening, you haven't done it yet. I'm sure you already have. Let's do the defense ignore. Yeah, so it's just super high defense. So they gain about 100,000 brave and get super high defense. Now this LD should do something. Could X-Death be a good call for this? Yeah, why not? Oh, they maybe it's gravity that they're... I think there's something they're immune to. Maybe not. I don't know. I have not looked at the actual numbers. I thought I just read something as I was before the show. Mino's here. He just popped on. We're just doing... I'm in the middle of the Lufenia Plus, so we figured we'd play through it. He's stuck at a spelling bee. Yeah. He's not doing well. Go figure. So this could be bad for Orin here. He may not be able to take back-to-back hits like this. So I did not spread them out enough. But I can do this. Oh, that wasn't too bad. Oh, but he's not going to break him. Oh, okay. Okay, that's not terrible. It wasn't great. Was not terrible. The next event is... it's not Machina, right? We haven't had Fran yet. Fran's first, right? We have one more Jegran. Yeah, it's Act 2, Chapter 5, Part 2. That's the next event. Careful here. Careful, that orb's gonna pop. And Lena's not here, so that was not good. Oh yeah, no. So this is not great. That was my bad. Oh, yep, the orb popped. That was awful. That was my bad. Not paying attention. Yep. Yeah, Lena. Good job. Okay. We'll call that, and we'll start the show. So yes, you do have to pay attention to that brave, and you have to pay attention to those gains. So we've learned something for the show tonight. Woohoo! All right, Mino, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Let's start the show. Why is the show delayed? Why not?
Mark's fault.
It's my fault. We are going to start the show right now in 5, 4, 3, 2. Welcome, everyone, to the Crystal Chronicles, your Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia podcast, bringing you all your DissidiaFFOO news and talk. So glad for you to be with us for episode 180. Whether you are live on YouTube or Twitch or watching video on demand or on your favorite podcast apps, welcome. TCCpodcast.com for all those links. Join our Discord. Have a lot of fun. Do like, sub, ring the bell for notifications. I'm Mark, and I'm glad to be your host. And I'm not alone. I'm joined by my good friend and yours. It is Mino Spellgood. Mino, how are you doing from your sabbatical?
Sabbatical?
You were gone last week.
I was? Oh, yeah. I missed last week to watch Spider-Man, and then I think Mark watched it today.
Yeah.
So we could talk about that later. But also, yeah, sorry, guys. Show starting late because of me. I guess I was busier this week than I thought I'd be. Well, first of all, it's pouring ass rain in LA right now, so traffic's way worse than normal. And I was just wrapping some stuff off until the holidays, and I finally kind of get time off. I'm the only person in my office this week and next week. The only fucking person, because I had the least seniority, and I'm not young, which it's government's terrible. But thanks for all your patience. I'm well rested for today's show. I'm ready to fire off. I'll make it worth it. How have you been, Mark? You're crazy busy during the holidays, right?
This is a pretty busy week for me, but I am trying to make time for my family and be present. And so I did take the boys to see Spider-Man, Final Asem. I felt it was excellent. I really enjoyed it. So I'm a big fan of Spider-Man, and of course the Marvel movies. But I really felt it did the entire franchise very good. So, but we can talk about that later. Well, last week, our good TCC intern Poto Cedar did have a little bit of trivia. That was, when did DissidiaFFOO officially release? The Japanese version of the game released February 1st, 2017. The global version of the game released January 30th, 2028. We are coming up to the 4th anniversary of DissidiaFFOO. No trivia this week, friends. Enjoy your holidays. Happy Christmas Eve for all of you. Hey, I thought we would do a YouTube membership campaign, though. I'd like to bump up our YouTube memberships. No spoilers, Emperor. No spoilers at all. And so I'd like to kind of work on our YouTube presence. Membership on YouTube's only $1. It's a lot cheaper than a sub on Twitch, and also helps us actually a little bit more because YouTube's a little bit more generous for now than Twitch is. I think Twitch gets about 50% of the money that you give us, whereas YouTube gets about 30%. So anyway, you all know I hate Jegrans, and we're going to talk about how much I hate Jegrans pretty soon. But I figured 100 members by the end of the cycle. If we have 100 members, I will chase the BT. If we get 200 members, I'll green it. And if we get 300 members, I will blue his armor and use him with Yida and Sephiroth in content, which I will hate a lot. So there you go. I'll make a special video about this. So if you're considered, it's 99 cents, become a member. I'm going to try to do some exclusive member-only videos. Of course, if you were a member, you got access to the tier list earlier. I might do my poll plans kind of as a member exclusive, some other stuff there. But check that out. Some news for today. We have officially announced that the 4th anniversary Q&A with the producer of the game, Fujiwara, is available. So you can go to Reddit and ask your questions. Mino, have you asked any questions of Fujiwara?
No, I was thinking of it, but I don't know if the situation's any better. I looked into that thread, I remember, a few days after it dropped, and it was 300 plus comments, and I believe the third most popular comment had 8 upvotes. So I was like, I had very little, a lot of doubts that anything I said would have risen to the top or have been visible. But also just like, what would we ask for at this point? What would you ask for, Mark? I have no idea.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, and there are some things like, the fact that boosted only co-op rooms should be able to just be boosted only, and they have that in the code already. Why not? There was something else that I think, why don't we have this feature? And I can't remember at all what it was, but there are a couple things. But no, I think Joshua was pretty clear that you ask your questions, he ignores them and asks his own questions, and that's.
Oh yeah, if I were going to be a cynic, and I've seen this on the other side too. I've definitely been on the other side of this, where you open a question thread to the public, and then you cherry pick stuff that you're already gonna do or wanted to talk about, just for good PR. I've been on the other side of this, so if I were a cynic, I would say there's a good chance that's what.
Now we did actually get some server maintenance, I believe. We did actually get that. It was last night, perhaps? I don't know if that was the big server maintenance, but that was a server maintenance. Oh, it's time to sleep. Thank you, iPhone. I'm going to go to bed right now. But there may be some more. So we did get a little bit last night. We'll see if that's because, we had that big server maintenance that didn't happen. Weird. There is a Christmas campaign co-op shop. Wow. This co-op shop has a lot of crap in it. This is clanging all the way. 50 tickets. Now, what you don't see on here was 20 BT plus book or 20 BT plus mat nuggets. So 1 ingot, 30,000 gold tokens. So have you done enough of your co-ops, Mino, to get your? I did. I just got mine today. To get your 1 book nugget.
No, but it doesn't seem that bad. I understand the fight is longer, but I think I judge my co-ops by TV time, and I think I only sat down for a 30-minute episode. So in like 30 minutes, I got everything else in the shop, cleared out the tickets, and made it all like 9 out of 20 of those BT shards. Yeah. But that's with ×3 books.
Yeah. Yes.
So that's 30 minutes with ×3. I don't know if a lot of people still have their ×3 stuff. But even if not, I could imagine if you do this with no booster, which I don't think anyone recommends, it'll be like a 3-hour grind. That sounds pretty fucking terrible.
I only use 3 times books. I don't know why you would not value your time, especially with green blue Jegrans with Rain's Call ability before they burst. Or Kujas who do that, or anybody. Why are you bringing Rain's Call? It does not make co-op go faster.
Yeah, times 2 books, guys. I want to say no longer than an hour and a half to 2 hours, and I was only averaging about 2 runs.
Yeah,
In
two
a
or three.
book.
I
So,
can usually get 3 runs in a 15-minute
yeah,
window.
yeah. So I really don't think it's as bad as people are saying. I'm sure they just don't want to sit down and do that grind. But
Right.
also, God bless the people who are bursting in these co-ops.
Yeah, you got to
And
burst. Yeah.
the best runs are me getting 2 Kuja BT
Yeah,
friends
2
who
Kuja burst
both BT.
faces. Yep.
Yeah. Oof. And then I've seen a good handful of green Jegrans in here, and man, does that not make the character look good. I'm
No,
really telling you
doesn't.
guys.
Especially next
I,
to non-green Kuja.
yeah,
When your brand new green blue character does not look good against an old character who is not green. Yeah, it's not good.
I've seen him at full potential in synergy, and it is not pretty. Several times too. And as Furry Tractor's saying, yeah, 8s are the fucking worst.
No, bring Rude. Bring a level
I'd
1
rather have
Rude than an 8. 8 can't make this. Be like, respect people's books. Like, don't be bringing 8s. 8 makes everything
I've had
longer.
an 8 literally AFK in the co-op, and it's so terrible.
Don't bring your 8s. Just bring level 1 Kuja. Like anything. Just whatever you can. Good. I don't think there's a new high armor book sale. So if you didn't pick up the first one and you wanted to get a book and ingot, or I think there's ingot or some nuggets for BT realizations, those are available again. So that's our second run on that. Other than that, really no new costumes or anything else. Jagran's not even cool enough to have a costume, so that should have told you something. I'm not sure what his costume would have been. Giant penis that he turns into, I guess. But
it's a ship. We got to buy the ship costume.
Yeah, ship costume. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of lettuce, let's get to Act 3, Chapter 5, Part 1, which is a story about stuff that nobody cares about because it's about the Crystal Bearers, Crystal Chronicles 4, the Crystal Bearers, which is a game no one has played. I know some of you say, oh, yeah, I love it's one of my favorite games. I just assume lying. I can't. It's like my kids. Kids lie and to be cool. So
kids lie. You're all children.
and I have to assume it. I mean, it literally sold 75,000 copies. It is the least selling Final Fantasy game of all time, and that's like with Chocobo Racer 7 like included in that list. I mean, like there's some like the rhythm games outsold this game because it's a Wii exclusive game. There's going to be 15 people in chat that are going to like come up and say, I actually played it. I guess you can emulate it. That has to be horrible because half the game is like shaking your Wiimote. So you're playing it on an emulator. Oh man, it's got to be awful. But yeah, so I own a Wii, so I assume other people own Wiis, and you may have actually played it. Maybe you rented it. Maybe you got a used copy. So 70,000 doesn't mean 70,000 or 75,000 people have played it. More people have played it, but we're talking about 75,000 plus rentals plus reused versus millions that have played Final Fantasy VII, right? Just huge numbers. And even if it was, even if you have played it, like, what was it really that good? Like, of the percent of people who played it, how many of those people thought, oh, this was good? And then how many of those people who thought it was good also thought, like, Jegran, awesome bad guy? I mean, it's just got to be such a slim number, yet there's a huge number of Jegrans who are greened and blued in this game. And not because he's good in Defo, he's awful in Defo. We're going to talk, I don't even know why we're going to talk about him, because he's just garbage. He's a garbage kit. He is a damage dealer that doesn't do damage. What's his gimmick? He doesn't do anything. I was going to even talk about Kuja first. Who freaking cares? Kuja gets a burst if you like Kuja, burst him. If you don't green him. He's kind of a worse Bartz. He does a little bit more damage than Bartz, but his potencies and everything, like his stuff. Hey, Eamon, thank you for the subscription. Like Cooge's whatever. Like I thought I was thinking about greening him. Like, hey, he's not doing anything that Bartz isn't doing. Plus, you have to have the debuffs. So like who cares? But Jegrans even worse. He's just garbage. What's he do? He presses buttons and they don't do any damage. And he's got a dumb debuff icon on the enemy that you can't read half the time because it's dark red and black and it blinks. And then when you take an action, it disappears. So you can never see how many freaking stacks of the stupid debuff it has. And then if it's got 3 stacks or 4 stacks or how many ever dumb stacks it needs, then he gets a preemptive attack before he acts, but only before he acts. And it doesn't do any damage, but it's rainbows. So woohoo, I like rainbows. And that's super exciting. And then his BT effect is always rainbows, but he's not doing any damage. So it really doesn't matter because he only has 1 HP dump on any of his freaking skills because he's just a big fat garbage pile of moldy lettuce. And I hate him. I'm not even going to tell you anything else that his dumb ass kit does because he is literally the worst character we've ever had in this entire game forever. Amen. Mino, what do you think about Jegrans?
So I'm not going to go that extreme. First of all, addressing chat, Mark clearly got carried away there. This is a very, very, very long hate rant. Very, very long hate rant. But first, before we're glazing over some opinions here. DK Black says you're forgetting about all the people who actually bought it and didn't play Crystal Bears. So like the grandparents that took it out of the discount bin to give to their grandchildren for Christmas.
What is this, Grandma? It's got lettuce on it. You like lettuce, don't you?
Yeah. Magnum saying, Eamon saying, "Damn, what did Crystal Bears do to you, Mark?" While I understand the sentiment, I can probably guarantee Eamon has never played Crystal Bears as well. Eamon, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Are you defending Crystal Bears just to be a hipster again, or did you actually play and enjoy Crystal Bears? Genuinely curious. But also, yeah, no, like, Crystal Bears fans, Crystal Chronicles fans as a whole. It reminds me of the whole like Banjo-Kazooie in Smash thing. Yeah. I don't know if you follow that, Mark, but basically Banjo-Kazooie has a very big, very vocal cult following, even though that game did not sell extremely well either. But it had mediocre sales, but crazy cult following. And then they have been asking for Banjo-Kazooie to be in Smash for years and years and years, almost a full decade. Then Banjo finally makes it in. The handful of Banjo fans are happy. The internet and the world at large didn't care that much. They picked up Banjo and played for about an hour and then put the game back down again. And as far as Nintendo's reported sales went, Banjo, including Banjo, didn't just to shut these fans up, didn't increase Smash sales. Nobody really plays Banjo anyways competitively because it's a shit character. We're gonna get to Jegrans about that as well. Very, very relevant. It's like very vocal hipsters who want something, got it, and then just immediately moved on to the next thing. Zero dedication, zero appreciation. It's just hipsters just want to be hipsters. I really think they just want to fight to champion for no fucking reason. Now, let's get to Jegrans. I disagree with Mark on a few things, but I know Mark was just exaggerating for effect. But it does lead to a very interesting concept, I think. I think Jegrans' kit... Okay, no, I think the Jegrans' design is okay. In theory. I think in theory, if his numbers were good, this would have been a fine character. Mark was asking, what does this character do? I think in theory, what he's supposed to do is you juggle the stacks, you hit your targets, you build stacks, and when they have 3 stacks and it's Jegrans' turn, then he'll do a preemptive attack that's a bunch of rainbows. And so I think the concept here is, since he does the preemptive rainbows, he's a reliable shaver, and his regular turns will always be hitting crits. Which, hey, that fulfills this orb for this new fight. Yeah. So I think his whole gimmick was supposed to be a very good shaver whose main attacks are always hitting crits. I think that's what he was supposed to be. And then once the enemy takes a turn, the stats reset. The stacks reset. It's kind of a fun concept. I've played characters like Sync, and Kadaj, who have these building debuffs that you take advantage of.
Yeah.
Like in theory, what he wants to do is build his stacks and then take as many turns as he can before the enemy goes. That way he's getting maximum uptime. In theory, this could be fun, but his numbers are fucking dog shit. Holy crap. As Mark already talked about, one dump on each skill is very, 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 very sad.
Yeah.
I think his maximum damage potential is barely 200k, and that's also not all of his moves. I think if he uses like S2, he won't hit that.
Yeah, because that S2 is split HP. And Steve Alicious is calling you out, saying Banjo-Kazooie, the original game, sold 3.5 million copies. So, yeah, it is what it is. But split HP on the second. We can have Banjo-Kazooie fights in post show.
Okay, yeah. No, the numbers are terrible. I don't know why. I don't know if they overcorrect. We always guess. I don't know. Did they overcorrect? Did they think consistent rainbows is too strong? Did they say, hey, he's going to be a brave shave monster but do bad HP damage? Either way, we know this is terrible for two reasons. One is, well, like, why use him over Jek? People in chat were saying before we started the show, Jek seems to be a popular option these days. Yeah, like... he out damages and has more utility than a lot of the BTs and characters we've been receiving. Period. It's only been going downhill from there. I don't know what they're thinking, but also like as the enemies are getting tankier, but moving on they don't. The HP starts dropping, but like this particular fight was very, very tanky. So clearly these 200k HP dumps a turn were not the best, and also just it comes down to balancing in RPGs. RPGs are all about the numbers. It doesn't matter if you're fun to play. If your numbers aren't correct, people are just going to move on. It's a dead character. You could have the most fun character in the world. What's a super fun character, Mark?
I'm so angry at Jegrans. I don't know. I can't have any fun.
Pick one character you like using.
I like using, let's say, Kistis.
Okay. Well, I mean, Kistis also has shit numbers, but
she does.
let's just take the powerhouses like Jekt and
Jekt's
Orin.
fine. Orin's fine.
Orin.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's say their kit remains absolutely the same, but you wake up tomorrow and their numbers are reduced. And no matter what Jekt does, he's only doing about 100k damage a turn. Period. He's the exact same to play, but his numbers are just god fucking awful. 100k damage a turn. Or let's say Orin's the exact same, except his counters are now doing like 50k damage a turn, like per counter.
Yeah.
It doesn't, like in an RPG, you're just dead. You're dead in the water. Numbers are all that matters. If people cared about gameplay and skill-based gaming, they wouldn't be playing RPGs. Let me tell you that. RPGs are 100% fucking about the numbers, and I just feel like Jegrans was a missed opportunity. If his numbers were good, I think he'd be a much more popular character. But they are just fucking 200k in this day and age when we're about to get people who do 1 million damage per button press.
Well, and Amons is saying in chat, I'm going to play devil advocate here, but his damage is supposed to add up from his pre-action, so he doesn't get that every time he acts. But even if he did, he's doing maybe I've seen him do maybe 250 with the pre-attack. And then 100,000 on top of that, or even two. Let's say he did 250 with the pre-attack and 250 with skill. You're still doing 500,000 as opposed to, Jekt, who can do over that with a skill, and then take consecutive actions. He can always skill 1 into skill 2, or the next 3 characters who can do 1 million damage with 1 button.
Right. But the second issue here is foresight.
Yeah.
We know coming up, the reason why, in hindsight, these characters look even worse is because once C90 comes, support becomes kind of a joke because everyone can cap on their own. Every AA is giving brave a huge amounts of brave damage up and HP damage up and like attack like stat boost and stuff. Support is a joke in the C90 era. And
Yeah.
so being able to hit rainbows regularly doesn't mean much when other people are capping on their own, no problem, hitting like 10 times harder than you are. And we're gonna get to sods as well. Like these buffer characters are just not gonna be as valuable because you really don't need them, and they feel really bad when they're in your team and you're
Yeah.
pressing these buttons that only do 100k damage tops. Like it feels like you're throwing your turn away, and that's essentially what support characters are. That's fine. Like they're supposed to enable others, but when the gain you get, but when they're an overall loss, a DPS loss included into your team, then just throwing 3 DPS with C90s in there.
Yeah.
This is disgusting. It's so shitty. Like I don't know if the devs planned this, but these characters are obsolete in 2 weeks or less.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if this was planned. Again, like give you a great tool and then take it away from you instantly, but these characters are gonna like some characters just die instantly. We all say, "Oh, every character can last a month." Some are just so fucking inferior. And before people argue, well, I've used Jegrans and JP through garbage time. Usable, as to quote BC, usable is the worst fucking standard. Literally anyone is usable. Freya guy has proved this. Literally ran Freya through every fight, sandwiched between meta. And then it's funny because I watch these takes from these people, and they're like, "Oh, people say Locke isn't usable in Shinryu, but here he is." And then Locke's like in there sandwiched between Camlanot FR and Kane FR, and they're like, look, I'm still using Locke." Like, how are people so blind that they can't see who's doing the heavy lifting? I don't fucking understand.
So Eamon is saying, I've seen blue Jegrans that can max their follow up. That's 520 before his action. I'd like to see that outside of synergy. Yeah, blue green, but outside of synergy, and I mean, again, it's split. His preemptive attack is split damage. So against what are you talking about? One enemy, two enemies. Again, if you're just talking about in a in a bubble, or even worse in Chaos or Cosmos, I'm not particularly impressed. I've not seen that. I've not seen those numbers in synergy. So if you can manipulate those numbers in synergy, still that's not real good. Like even the numbers you're quoting, because it's not every turn. He's not doing that every turn. And it's still not 1,000,000 damage. Like,
yeah, historically, Eamon, this isn't a malicious call out. Historically, Eamon, BC has given you crap about your old damage tests because it would be tested in unrealistic scenarios and old situations. Like you would say, "Hey, Golbez can do 800k damage," but then you wouldn't ever use Golbez in continuing fights. And we talk about this all the time. The character's only as good as the fights allow them to be. Jegrans, even if you can hit that in one turn, I guarantee you that's a shit ton of catering, and I guarantee you he can't do it every turn. And I guarantee you the opportunity cost of creating a team to allow him to do that is dishing out less damage than, say, eject Orin Leonard. 100%. Like, what are you sacrificing to make one part look good is not going to equal the sum of parts of a better team. 100%. But no, yeah, these are damage tests in a vacuum. All right? If this was this apparent, this would be a more popular team. There's a reason Jekt is so popular. There's a reason Ace is so popular, because they can persistently pump that out fight after fight after fight. No barriers. That's one. The second thing is, In says, isn't that why people play joke characters in fighting games? Bad moves and frame data, but they're silly and fun. No. Joke characters are very gimmicky. Nobody really mains these joke characters. They're not taken seriously in the long-term run of the games. They don't have the biggest fan bases. They're not showing up in tournaments, and they're seen as just a gimmick. Joke characters are not good for the health of the game. They're meme to shit. I mean, look at, like, in DFFOO, we had joke characters like Yuffie for the longest time. right? Like Yuffie memes would be all over the place and Saw's memes. So when they finally got an upgrade, people were like, "Wait, are they actually good?" Remember, Saw's 35 came early to
Yep.
global, but nobody believed he was good because he was such a joke character for a long time. No, that's not how joke characters work. Joke characters are very gimmicky. No serious community takes, just like you're deep in the Defo community, so you should know, like, no, the game isn't built around these joke characters. And then Emperor Oshi says Jagran rework though fixes him from what I know.
No.
Uh, Even if true, and I don't like that's another hilarious meme line of they're good at
Yeah, good
C90.
in C90.
His C90 comes literally right before the new era NFR weapons. That's why that like his C90 is so good. I guess that's why he stopped showing up in fights immediately after he got his C90.
Yeah, and maybe in one situation he is kind of just a victim of circumstance because he's right at the tail end of C80, and then his C90 is right at the tail end of Lufenia Plus, and so so even if he gets okay at C90, he's not. Yeah, you can. If you max out FRs and cheese everything else, you can bring him along for Shinryu, but you can also bring along Machina for Shinryu, and it will be a lot easier for you. Or you can bring Tidus along, and it will be a lot easier. Or you can use other characters.
Yeah. Like here's something that a lot of the Jegran champions in JP don't seem to understand, and this is something that we're trying to drill into the community a lot, me and BC. It's opportunity cost. This seems like such a foreign concept to a lot of people. Opportunity cost. You can use this guy, but why would you use it instead of other better guy? Ever. In most cases, other than to have fun or be a hipster, sure, but an objective recommendation, it won't fucking fly. It's like saying, hey, you could drive to work, or you could walk to work. It's usable. It's viable. You'll get to work eventually. Why not do that, right? And why not, lug 20 pounds of stone behind you as well? Like, usable is such a shit standard.
So
it should be.
Yeah. So Eamon wants to die on the Jagran Hill because, of course, he does. And
God, are we humoring this?
Yeah, no, we're not. Because what content? So I mean, you're going to bring him to old content, and if you bring him to old content, then bring Jet and do the same thing, and bring Ace and do the same thing, and bring Twins and do the same thing, and really compare even those 4 damage dealers. And tell me Jagran comes out on top. I do not believe that is the case. And let's more appropriately talk about Jagran in the next cycle. And then in the next cycle. And then in the next cycle. And put him up against Machina. Put him up against Locke. Put him up against Null. And tell me that he's a viable damage dealer. Because he's not. He is not. He is the least of those. I would rate him of the newest BT pluses, not returning BT pluses, of the new BT pluses. I would rate him low on the poll. He is the last man out. So I mean, I would again. I suppose there's somebody that really likes Jagran. He's a favorite. I know I've seen tons of green blue Jagrans. I don't get it, whatever. But he's not good, and that's okay because you can play not good characters, and that might make the game a little more fun for you, a little more challenging, everything else. Like I said, I've been playing with Renoa all week, getting her through old content, or getting her through current content. I mean, she's garbage. Like, she's hot garbage. She wasn't terrible when she came out originally, right? And thank God she'll probably get a BT plus and FR. Yeah. But no, yeah, her LD wasn't great. But she had some good time to shine. But yeah, she's not great. And so yeah, there you go. But yeah,
we also have to accept that not all characters get equal treatment. That's a fact, and that's fine. And also, the devs screw up sometimes. That's a fact, and that's fine. Literally, I think BC and Nidre on Ranting Hour are constantly talking about the current JP curve, where Kane, Kryl, Braska came out to start off the Shinryu, and they looked fine. But then Cam came out overtuned. The devs fucked up. They said, we'll roll with the changes. Yeah. And then in the latest Ope, they said, all right, guys, we need to change course because things have gotten out of hand a little bit. Yeah. Like, apparently, with Cam and others, people are, raising damage numbers higher than we anticipated, so now we got to change course. So like, look, they can't predict everything. Sometimes things slip through the crack. What that means is Kane probably going to be the worst FR ever? Possibly, quite possibly. I'm okay with that. I can live with that. It's okay if my favorite character got shit on. It's okay. These things happen. You have 160 characters in Defo right now. They can't all have equal attention or be equally good. You don't have to like die on a hill to fight for every viability. Like with 160 characters, if there weren't some that were just better than others or inferior to others, that'd be unnatural. And it's perfectly fucking okay to do it. Fighting games can't even balance a cast of like 12 to be perfectly balanced. It's just the way it is. And I don't know why we have to say this every show, but clearly play and pull who you like, and you like what you like, but we're tackling this from an objective, well, not an objective, we have biases, but like as objective as possible as we can to take a look at this, and then let people who aren't fanboys decide whether they want to or not. Like, it's not a big fucking deal. I don't understand why everyone has to convince them their favorite is the absolute best. Like, do you assault people on the street and say, no, orange is the best color because it's my favorite color. Orange is the best. All other colors are bad. I don't understand this need to justify it. It's probably the cognitive dissonance thing. There's a whole nother topic on that. I forgot.
Well, if you spent resources to green and blue Jegran, let alone actually spend resources to pull for his kit, you probably need to convince yourself he doesn't suck. So, but no, I mean of the 8 damage dealers around him, I mean, including him, I guess 8. I mean, I think he's easily, objectively the worst. And you can create your tunnel vision all you want, but even the numbers you gave us weren't very impressive, because again, you gave me one like optimal turn, but give me
whoa. I'm just getting some tips. People are messaging me with receipts showing that Eamon refuses to actually green his own Jegran. That to prove his point to us, he's asking other people to put a Jegran friend up so that he can do it. So he's trying to die on this hill, but he won't invest his own resources. I don't know, Eamon, if that's true or not. Show us the green blue Jegran. Show us the green blue Jegran. But apparently we're being argued with by somebody who won't. This reminds me of those videos that are like, Jegran's amazing, but I'm not gonna fucking invest in him.
Well, he's saying I don't think he's necessarily better. He's not. He's not better than Machina. Machina is better in every single way.
In every DPS.
No.
From here to the next 3 months, name
competition.
one DPS that you can take your Jegran team.
Go watch a Machina video.
Yeah, replace him with any DPS that's coming out in the next 3 months who will do a worse job than him.
Look at the numbers. Please. Like, it's
Holy
just.
Shit. I'm done. We gotta move on.
Yeah.
But before we do, It's No A says Jegran was so anti-hype that some people decided to prove how good he is through garbage time. Yes, that is the definition of hipster. Thinking you see something that nobody else can see. And then getting attention by shouting the contrary opinion. But yeah, no, like I try to look into these characters. I try to fight opposite opinion as much as I can. Sometimes you gotta face the facts. They missed hard with this character. They just did. His only utility is damage. He has no fucking party utility. People are saying, 80 plus 80% attack on his burst effect. The burst effect is short, one.
Yeah, it is.
Whose burst effect isn't giving at least 80% attack with more like BT and Brave. I mean, with more Brave damage up. Brave gain up. Yeah, Brave gain up. Who isn't giving more than that? And who's hitting less than him on a consistent basis? No, they missed completely on the numbers mark. 100%.
Yeah. Well, let's look at the pocket. If you want to learn more about Jegran, because what are good reasons to pull for Jegran? He's a favorite. I want to have all the BTs. I want to collect all the characters. I'm a stupid hipster. I got a shirt that says, whatever. Jegrans the best villain, Final Fantasy. Like, yeah, I mean, like if that's you, great, then do that. But let's so learn more about Jegran at TonberryTroupe.com. His beautiful infographic. You can see the crab on his head. Nice art there. And podcast poll. So thank you, J.A. And, of course, Materia Bot, our good friend Quetzalma. Across 9 servers, 4 people were willing to pity his BT, including Nidre is one of them, who is just collecting all the BT. So that was one. I guess it's really only 3. So that was one of. So 2 other people were like, I hope they're collectors. No one going gunning. No one using gems for the LD. No one using gems at all. 41 people using tickets and 101 skipping. And that is the correct answer. That is the 100% the correct answer from the community. Good job, community.
In our server, there was a parrot or someone who actually legitimately enjoyed.
Yeah,
he legitimately enjoyed Crystal Bears.
Yeah,
and he was gonna go all in on Jegran.
He did.
And he loves Jegran, but he admits he's a subpar character.
He also did like 14 TCC challenges this week. So he really does like using characters that aren't particularly strong or up to date. He had some very interesting clears. So shout out to Parrot. Really, Parrot. Yeah, really cool. Jegran's a great. I mean, he's got a BT and a BT plus, so he's not a great TCC challenge character, but he is a good. Make the game. Hey, Retro Gamer Dad. Merry Christmas to you. He is a little bit of a hipster choice. So there you go. Oh crap. There's a Lufenia plus. We should talk about that. You fight Jegran. It's interesting. His big dick energy fight mode, where he's a giant penis that gets all over you. It's awful. It's another reason I hate him. And he's got 2 little friends, his balls, I guess. It's awful. Like, who designed this? Like, this was actually in the game. It's not great. It's not great. Crystal Bears. It's a whole nother reason. It's not good. But anyway, big cannon, 2 ads. The debuff, or the orb, probably one of the more tricky parts of this fight is the orb. The orb only ticks up, but it ticks up by 8 if the boss has a stacking debuff level 2 or higher on it at the start of its turn. So stacking debuff, Jegran's debuff counts. One way you can deal with this is you can bring a Jegran friend, bring him in, and when he's done, his debuff sticks on. So it just stays on there. Awesome. And after he leaves, so you don't have to worry about it for the rest of the time. Probably the easiest way to deal with it. Kadaj, call ability, X-Death call ability, Kurosame, actually Kurosame in your party's not a bad idea here. Kurosame call ability, Jack call ability, any stacking debuff if you want to wait till Fran call ability. All options, space them out if you want to just use calls. Most people just use them as calls, not a problem. But you do need to worry because it will kill you if you let it pop. There are 2 major phases. So the first half of its health and the second half of its health. Huge defense, a lot of HP. The first half of its health, it gets this big AoE recast ability. It's not deadly, but it can hurt. And so you got to check out for that. We'll summon every time it does it, we'll summon or heal the minions. The second phase, below 49%, its defense spikes. It gets a red aura. And then it does a single target recast ability, which will do a massive amount of damage. And so having somebody like Zach or Oren with Last Stand, really helpful there. And then it keeps summoning those ads. You don't have to kill the ads. You just have to kill the laser, whatever it's called, Space Laser, Jegran Core. Jegran Core is what it's called. The crystal weapon. No, crystal weapons are the ads. You don't have to kill them. Just the Jegran Core. But yeah, if you kill the minions, the defense does lower, but the minions get really hard to kill towards the end of the fight. So if you can bring defense and Nor, Shadow's awesome here. You can actually evade with Shadow. If you're looking for help, you can come on our Discord. We have an entire channel dedicated to this. We also have Excalibur's Threshold, and also Deathstroth does an infographic of different teams that he used. But we also have all the runs there, a thread dedicated to this with all various different runs. And check out the Call to Arms, DissidiaFFOO.com as well. So not a terrible fight. But if you're not paying attention, could come back to bite you. Me know anything about this fight?
Duroth's asking, does Jack and Curacall work? They do, but
Yes.
in my experience, calls alone are pretty hard to keep up throughout the entire fight.
So,
unless you bring a super strong team. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, so I used calls on fairly weak teams. On non, you bring 3 BT pluses to anything, it's going to be ending pretty quick.
Not a fairly weak team.
What?
You said you brought calls on to fairly weak teams, but 3 green BTs isn't a fairly
No.
weak team.
I said unless you're bringing 3 BTs.
Oh, yeah.
No, I didn't bring 3 BT pluses. Even in my BT plus run, I just had one. But Jack call is 4 turns. Kurisame's call is 6 turns, but you can space it out. So you can do 6 turns with his call ability and then 6 turns with his LD. So it's just good to space him out. X-Death gets 4 turns on each of his call and LD call, and then Kadaj gets 4 turns on each of his call and LD call. So if you space them out, and if you're going to do that, my suggestion is save the defense lowering till later in the fight. Actually use your Kurasame early and get the extra HP damage up early, and then use the defense like Jack. And that's why I brought Kadaj, because Kadaj is defense lowering as well. So Kadaj or Jack towards the end of the fight. So, but yeah, you do have to be more careful. Friend Jegran is the easiest way to deal with it. Although that would mean bringing Jegran, which would be
have
awful.
any? Like I didn't see any on my friends.
Oh, there's way too many.
Really? Holy shit! I'm just unlucky.
I did not do that because I hate Jegrans. If you hadn't figured that out yet, but Twins friend is real good here. Ject friend is good if you make sure that you're focused on your single target attack. If you bring Twins friend in, bring them at the very end. Well, there are 3 ads, and the ads are very difficult to kill. And then Twins friends is really nice. Yeah. Yeah, what were you going to say?
Oh, yeah, no, just the fight was surprisingly tanky.
Yes.
But there were a lot of little tricks, as In is mentioning as well. Like, I think the 50% threshold is when they get really tanky. So some people said you can, like, summon and burst and burn through that, etc., etc. It was, I think I was caught slightly off guard by it, as in, so, like, these days I'm doing pretty minimal studying before I go into these.
Right.
And basically, there are just little tricks to maximize your DPS in this fight. And you kind of do, it's tanky as shit.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's like the last couple of events we had, like Canes or whatever, that you just slap a whatever team as long as you check the orb. You really need to think about how you're going to up your damage. What team did you bring, Mark?
I've played it a half dozen times at least with different teams. I love
current Mark. When I'm playing the game the least, he's playing the game the most. So we've really switched off, and he's the one doing.
Yeah. So Orin Core Renoa was the team that got through with her. Let me tell you.
Orin Core Renoa.
Let me tell you, Renoa.
That's far more impressive than anything.
Renoa, not great.
But if you could carry them through with Orin and
But
Core,
yeah, I had to play her offensively, and not have her in defensive mode, or support mode very limitedly. And I brought Ject friend, and that was with Kadaj, Jack, and Kurasame calls. Zach, Lena, somebody else as a damage dealer with the Zach run, who I can't remember off the top of my head. Shadow, I did a Shadow run. Shadow's great here. Thank you, Chemical. Shadow, Lena, somebody. Bart's Orin. I think the easiest run was Bart's Orin Ject. I think that's the big run with the big BTs. Golbez, you can get Golbez through there. Orin Core really trivialize it. Oh man, no Billy. Did you see everybody check out Black Nero on YouTube? Great content creator, good friend of ours. Did you see Billie Eilish on Saturday Night Live? I thought she was great on Saturday Night Live. Anyway, really appreciated her acting, her art. No, I seriously, I thought she did a good job. But yeah, I brought a few different teams. Yeah, but Orin Core really Zach. I think Orin dealt with it easier than Zach did, but Orin and Zach both really good options. Shadow's the hardest to navigate around his evasion because you have to take his HP passives off, and then it's the second wave that he can dodge all the recast attacks, and he ignores defense. That's why he's so good. But there's a lot of options. I mean, pretty much people were bringing everybody through. Because I was like, I was going to do Golbez, and then Blartanian beat me to it, and people bring Kurasame in the party to deal with the orb. I didn't see anybody bring Jack. I don't know. He might not be a bad idea because he has defense ignoring too. But yeah, 8 works. Yeah, you can, if you really hate yourself, you can bring 8. If you really want to spend 45 minutes with this fight, you can bring 8. He does work. It's painful. Merry Jegran Christmas to you. Yeah. Yeah, no, I played it a whole bunch. I don't know why. I was bored.
Do I want to do it? Sorry, Eamon's continuing this discussion in my DMs.
Yeah,
I feel like this is something worth addressing, but I don't know if it's like right now. What's our next section?
We're going to transition here in a second, so if you want to continue with Jegran crap, yeah, let's do it right now.
All right, really, really, really quick. So Eamon's in my DM saying, we should take a fair look at all these characters, and I brought up this stuff about Jegran because I think it's worth having another side to the argument instead of just shitting on a character. And then I said, all right, well, did you green Jegran? And, he's saying, well, I think we should take a look at all sides when we're talking about a character, etc. So I said, so no, then you didn't green Jegran. And he's saying, right, I didn't, but there's research behind this. I get that sentiment, but I think you can have an opinion like that about a character regardless. BC tried to defend Strago back then, for example, without going for him. Here is what I have to say about that before we move on, is I feel like it is so fucking disingenuous to champion or argue something when you have no stakes in it. Or as BC stole from me, no skin in the game, right? Like, it's very easy to argue something and then not personally invest in it as well. I've said time and time again, my least favorite should you pulls are hyping up a character and then saying they're going to skip completely. Welcome to the real world. If you're hired as a consultant, nobody wants you to tell them how every option is good. They'll ask you, hey, what's the best course of action to take? And if you just start arguing that every fucking course of action is good, and Black BC says, hold on, I pulled Strago, so that's not the same thing. If someone's asking for your advice and you tell them every option is good, it's like Mark's, if someone comes up to you and says, hey, should I get divorced from my wife? And you're like, hey, well,
obviously,
here's all the good sides. Yeah, here are all the good sides to doing it, and here are all the good sides to not doing it. Also, here are all the good sides to every other possible option. Like dating this other girl, or not dating at all, becoming a monk, moving to like who are you helping? Who are you helping when your advice is every option is good? If you can't make a fucking decision, what value are your choices in life? There's always hard choices to make. In fact, I think there's a saying that being an adult is being able to make hard fucking decisions. And there's always someone losing out in some situation. And as that stupid Agretzko show I've been watching, the newest season says, you can't live your life without hurting anyone else. There's always a winner and a loser. There's always a choice. I think arguing only pros for everything, and then, even worse, not following up yourself. Sorry, Eamon, I'm gonna fucking say this right now. If you can't green-blue Jegran with imaginary resources in an imaginary game with very little stakes, and you want to argue his pluses, it's empty words, because you don't believe in your own words enough to do it. If he's really such a great character,
Yeah,
you should be
we
perfectly
got
happy
several
throwing your
people
fucking resources.
who have his resources, and people who even have green and blued him in our server who are quick to say he's not very good.
Yeah, lots of
Like,
DC, I believe, greened him in JP and called him shit. Nidre did it too. Like, you act like, so he's like, oh, the research is out there. He's a good Why is he so underused then? And why do 90% of the people who have him say he's complete dog shit? And you won't even take the step to do it. I just feel like I just tune out anyone who says vegan lifestyle is very healthy when they themselves will not do it, right? Why are you giving me advice that you yourself won't follow? You don't even think your advice is good. Why the fuck would I? I just think it's fucking moronic. I'm you know what? I'm feeling particularly violent tonight, Eamon. So because it's been such a good week, you know, it's the holidays. I'm pretty well rested, so I have a lot of energy to be violent tonight. But it's basically like, clearly you don't have a lot of real life experience if you think this is a productive way to live, to argue that everything is good. If you don't make good hard choices on a regular basis to know that a lot of choices are inferior and not all choices are balanced. The world is not perfect and just. Not everything is the same. Not everything is equal. You have to make hard fucking decisions. All right. You can't say, hey, you know, being a busboy is as lucrative as being a programmer or a doctor. That's not how the fucking world works.
No,
And
let's because Inkwelder's not with us, so let's do an analogy. Let's say you're going to buy a car, and you got $5,000. Same amount of money, $5,000, and there are 4 cars that the salesman shows you. You got a 1980 Pinto that's got 300,000 miles on it. Okay. You got a Ford Taurus 2000, 100,000 miles on it. You got a Lexus, maybe 2015, 100,000 miles on it. And let's say Toyota something, Camry or something like that, right? 100,000 miles, 2005. Like, you get to make some decisions. They all cost the same amount of money. You ain't buying the Pinto. Oh, I really like Pintos. Okay, you're not buying the Pinto when the other deals are better. That's what we're talking about. You can choose, this one is bad. That's a bad deal. I don't want to do that. That's bad. And there are other deals that are better. Well, they all drive. They're all cars. But here in this game, the resources are the same. The characters are not. Right?
yes.
And that doesn't
yes.
mean, I think it was, I don't know if it was Beast Mode or Chemical Witness. I pulled him. I've been using him. Fine, right? Especially if you're a new player, pull everything. Who cares? You got to build your roster anyway. He's not going to hurt you. I certainly wouldn't green and blue him. Save those resources because they're limited. Somebody else was talking about Eateroth, and you can Eateroth everything, but if you haven't before, don't, because it's awful. It's the worst. Watch my video of it, and then you'll probably have to go commit yourself. It's awful. It's painful.
At the end of the day, let's move on after this. At the end of this fucking day is that fence sitters are pussies. Yeah. It's a lot easier to say everything is good instead of saying this is good, this is bad. It is much objectively harder to rank things and decide between things being a better choice for you or a worse choice for you. It is much harder to run a company or a family and make decisions than to sit there and say everything's good, you pick. All right? Fence sitting is some pussy ass shit. All right? And if you're a fence sitter and all you do is sit there and make everyone else more indecisive by saying everything is good, please consider this. Please consider this. You know, like that, you're getting nothing fucking done in this world.
Yeah.
Sorry, did
Yeah,
you
no,
have...
no, no. I just don't know why. I just don't understand why. He's not anybody's favorite. Like, okay, maybe a couple people, but really, right? I mean, he's not a favorite character from not a favorite game, from not even a main game of this game, and so I don't understand why why are people sitting on the fence with this character? He's objectively bad compared to the next 3 characters coming out. Pure damage dealers. There's Jegran, Machina, Null, Locke. Jegran is the loser. There's just nothing. He is just the loser of those 4. Arguably going backwards, he still might be the loser, but let's just look at the next 2 months. He is the loser. And that's okay. Again, sure, if you're that very small percentile that he's your favorite, you always play your favorites. I got a whole bunch of crappy favorites. Mino's already talked about it. You play your favorites, you figure out how to make them work. Not a problem.
I always say I don't fucking understand this. For 4 years, I said Kane is dog shit. I'm pitying his weapon and putting him on the bench. I don't fucking understand why people have to argue or champion White Knight these imaginary characters, Mark. That's what they're fucking doing. They're White Knighting these imaginary ass characters.
Look at, you see that idiot on the screen right now in his black armor with his black thing there? He's green, and I hate him. He's awful. He's terrible. Don't green him. Don't pull for him. But I have him, and that's okay. Like, I don't know why you can't do that, and especially if your money isn't where your mouth is. Come on.
That's the biggest rub. Like, you could if you were a Super Jegran champion, I could understand. But if you're literally arguing nonstop on and other people are saying Eamon has argued with them too, right? Telling me right now you're arguing nonstop across the internet and you won't fucking do it yourself. What are you trying to accomplish? I don't fucking understand it. If you won't do it yourself, why are you even doing this? Do something more productive with your life.
Get a job. Lazy bum. Anyway, we love you, Eamon. Merry Christmas.
Christmas. Happy holidays, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Tis the spirit. Tis the season of, I don't know, Mark knows all the platitudes.
Yeah. So, hey, it is also the season of Final Fantasy VII Remake on PC. There you go. Mod away. I already saw a Cherith mod where all of Aerith's weapons are replaced with the chair. So, enjoy that. I know people were complaining about, they didn't do any upgrades. Yeah, who cares? You can mod the heck out of this game. Enjoy it. Have fun. That's why you do it. Who cares what? Squex didn't have... modders work for free, right? Squex didn't have to do anything. We did also have a Squex community stream, so let's talk a little bit about that. A couple highlights, and then anything you want to talk about, Mina, we'll talk about it. Big takeaway, obviously, Squex Crystal taking a little bit more of an authoritative role in the stream, so I know you appreciate that.
I'm calling it. I think I've been saying it for a while. I think ever since she got on, Josh has been grooming her to take over because it's a very noticeable shift in responsibilities. I.e., Glacy was never expected to contribute this much. Let's be honest, right? Like, Glacy was always just there to co-pilot. Now, every stream, Josh is deliberately, it's like when any of us train someone at work, right? It's like, oh, here, you take this section, or this week you're going to be doing this part. Like, this is a very deliberate shift.
Yes. But we are going to get a New Year's festival, which will give us 6,000 gems if you log in for 3 days consecutively, 2,000 gems each day, so very nice. And we're going to have a free multi-draw, which will include every 15, 35 EX and LD before the Jegran era, Jegran cycle, from the 31st to the 11th. So lots of free LDs, hopefully for all of you, and we'd all appreciate that. So the other thing I wanted to talk about with the Squex community stream was this accelerated timeline. So this stream only covered the 21st to the 6th. And both cycles of Jegran and Machina, we are apparently going to get a mid-month announcement, or even an early January announcement about the next 2 cycles, which would be Null and Locke. So, our good friend Nidre at DFO Tip or FOTIP, FFOO tip.com.
Foo tip.
Food
Like
tip.
Q-tip.
Oh,
Yeah,
food
you gotta
tip.
remember,
Food
it's like
tip.
Q-tip.
The
It's like
foo
Q-tip.
tip. Yes, food tip. Like Q-tip rhymes, yeah. So at FFOO tip or foodtip.com, did confirm that we are slightly accelerating the timeline compared to Japan. So we have gained on Japan. Does this mean anything? Probably not. My guess would be they're trying to reorganize going towards anniversary. But Mina, what are your thoughts on this accelerated quote unquote timeline?
I've been saying for like half a year, I think they do this to make room for GL exclusive events now. With anniversary and and New Year's around the corner, I wouldn't be surprised. Literally, last time they did this, it was for Core.
Yeah.
They sped it up so that Core would have a full week and a half to breathe.
Yep.
And so, like, I wouldn't be surprised if there are multiple anniversary drops, maybe a Floor of Abyss, maybe an event or co-op or whatever. But to be conservative, I think it's just to make room for GL exclusive events. A lot of people are speculating it could be they're trying to speed up the schedule overall. That would be lovely, but I'm staying optimistically cautious and just saying it's going to be GL first events.
Yeah. I know there's a lot of questions in chat. Again, if you want to use your Chocobo points, we will ask your questions. Or if you want to give us a sub or super chat, membership, and ask your question, we will definitely get to them. We may not get to everybody's questions until later, but I know there's some questions in there, as well as we have other things to talk about on the show. So have we gotten a GL first every anniversary?
Not last anniversary, because Core was pushed back 6 months. So I mean, if we're talking about that, my theory's always been they said literally last anniversary, guys, we can't guarantee a GL first every anniversary because it's a lot of work. It's like it's unsustainable. We can't do it every year on the year. So if Core took longer than usual, like a year and a half, as opposed to the other Beatrix and Aranea that were a year apart, then I really highly doubt we're gonna get a second fucking GL first in a year span, just 6 months after Core. If they came out and said, "Hey, it's hard, we can't do it every year," there's no way we're gonna get two that year, like 6 months apart. I really think if anything, it's time traveling.
Yeah, Bishop says simultaneous BT cycle during anniversary Renault Altimecia BT Plus. Yeah, early Renault Altimecia BT Plus, that'd be great. I'd take that.
Early C90s, I think there's still a good chunk of characters in JP that don't have C90s yet. So it's still
there
possible.
are a handful, so early C90s, yeah, definitely. All right, we did have a question of the week. If you are a supporter, if you are a sub on Twitch or a YouTube member, you can link your accounts to Discord and get into our podcast supporter corner and also our TCC supporters chat. And our intern, Poto Cedar, has a weekly question. This week was, in the spirit of Christmas, make up a character kit for Santa Claus. I'll read a couple of them. Illuminasa says, Skill 1, Coal Toss. Skill 2, Cookies and Milk. EX, Reindeer Trample. LD, Rudolph Snows. BT, Santa's Workshop. Elves attack the target, throwing hammers and toys at the enemy. A couple of people really got into this. Artistic Asian says S1 no witnesses, 25 HP dump with 80% refund. Skill 2 gifts grants 100% brave battery and brave HP up to party. EX Santa's coming to town. That's a good one. Ida-esque LD attack done twice. Overhead milk and cookies grants immortality to the party. AA is ho ho ho. These are creative titles. HP and Brave heals 50% for 5 turns. LD, the gift that keeps on giving, refresh all skills to party and grants a free skill. And BT, Krampus Smash, 10 hit Brave and HP damage with 100% Brave refund. Blind Eye, our good friend Blind Eye, I know who's here with us. Skill 1, he knows when you are sleeping. 3 HP dumps with 100% Brave retention. Becomes plus when target is sleeping. Upgraded to 5 HP dumps and Brave battery to the party and extends current sleep by 1. Skill 2, Naughty List grants Naughty List special icon for 1 action. Random effect occurs on Santa's next action. Ink dons Edward Cloak and does LD, putting enemy to sleep for 5 turns. BC dons Soldier First Class outfit and does Rush Assault. Blind dons Jex outfit and does Jex Slack. Mark upgrades his first gem clear to 500 at the cost of Mark's gem stash being drained by 400. EX, he knows when you're awake. 4 HP dumps with party battery at the end. Repeats if target is asleep. Remove sleep. LD, Spread Christmas Joy, fills up everyone's EX gauge to full, makes their next action free, consumes skill use. BT, Santa's Fury, 15 Brave hit. BT Aura, loaded as hell. Well, thank you. That was fun. And you can become a member and get that. So, yeah, definitely a lot of fun. Hey, well, we do have a new event, and that is the Mission Dungeon, which you saw me earlier if you were watching live, or if you're watching later, failed the initial attempt as I tried to just burn through it and then lost count of the orb there at the end. But more than that, it brought us a new character. Not a new character, but a new character, and that's Zaz. And so Zaz gets an LD. And he's been with us for a long time. Zaz got an early 35. That was good times. Zaz is a support character that also debuffs. And his new LD, called Spark Shower, it's a big old shooting attack. It's a lot of fun. Gives you free ability use. And a new buff called Aggression. Party attack 20%. Overflow stolen 20%. Brave Steel and HP damage 10%. So the interesting thing about this is Brave Steel is its own mechanic on top of overflow, HP damage up, everything else. So it gives you kind of additional Brave, but it's not Brave gained, I guess. It's its own mechanic, unique to Zaz. I don't know if anybody else has this.
I thought Golbez has it, right? And I think there's a couple of other characters. Are we talking about when you do a Brave hit, but you get more Brave than the Brave hit itself?
Well, isn't that just Overflow? This Brave Steel is different than Overflow, I know.
No, so like Brave Steel, are you saying like Golbez, who gets like if you hit the enemy for 100 Brave, you get 130?
Yin is saying, yeah, Golbez and Sephiroth, yeah, have that on there as well. So this gives it to the party for 10% as well. And that's kind of his new mechanic. Of course, he does guarantee crit damage and does crit damage up. That's kind of his big gimmick as well from his previous iteration. If you're attacking a broken target, the Brave Steel and HP damage is up 20%. So yes, Mino is right on that, Black Nero says. So yeah. He did get a little bit of a rework, just more hits basically on his skills. Other than that, yeah, not a lot for Zaz, but he's not terrible. Mino said earlier, a lot of these supports are going to lose steam here as characters are just doing stupid amount of damage, but he may fill in your roster needs if you need him. Mino, what are your thoughts on Zaz?
I gotta be missing something. I'll see. BC's in here. He could say something. I remember when this character dropped in JP, there was a lot of buzz about him. Mm-hmm. BC included. I think BC was pretty excited about him as well when he dropped in JP. But looking at his stats, and purely looking at his stats, not playing with him, I'm not impressed at all. Because, his buffs are huge. 100% crit rate. Shit ton of attack, probably the most we've ever seen. A lot of overflow and Brave HP damage up. Just lots of stuff. It's just that right now, I feel like the meta is steering away from Brave hits and more towards HP dumps.
Yeah.
That's what it's really fucking feeling like with the tankiest enemies here. Like the Jegran Lufenia Plus, I feel like, is a great testing ground moving forward, because when it comes to dishing out a lot of damage, it's not about how much brave damage you do, it's about how much HP damage you can do a turn. You can do, like, like Jegrans a perfect example of doing like a shit ton of brave damage a turn, but his HP damage a turn is awful. And so, like, while you could probably use him in the fight, he's not as ideal. Like, a lot of people were running, say, Jack, who can do many, many dumps and big HP damage every turn. Or who else was a very big contender here? I'm trying to think. Zac was one of the most popular ones. Lots of dumps, lots of HP damage. It feels like HP damage is becoming more and more important. And as we move into C90, brave damage is becoming less and less important. That's why Jagran's rainbows are such a joke.
Yeah.
And when I saw Saz's buffs, and whenever I see a support character coming out, the first thing I see is how much damage are they doing, personally.
Right.
Very, very upset that S2 is still pretty weak. S2, I believe, is still, like, I think 4 to 6 hits in a single dump. Very, very weak. I know it's a free turn, guys, but I don't know. And then AIM got some, S1 got some updates and stuff, but, like, it seems like Saz's personal damage is on the very, very low side. And right now, 100%, we talked about this before, I want to bring a support who's dealing damage. I think that's why Len is so popular, because her personal damage is not terrible. It's not the best, but it's a lot better than a lot of supports. Or why, like, Orin is such a popular support, because he can dish out damage as well. Like, I don't know if I'm missing something on Saz here, but his buffs seem very unnecessary. Superfluous, almost. I'm just not excited about the character. Do you have any deeper thoughts on? Yeah, no. BC's saying he 100% agrees on this.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think why you would bring Zaz compared to somebody else, I guess. And right, I mean, he does the buff extending. So, I mean, there are some options you could do with the buff extending. Right? He is one of the buff extenders, but he also shoots out a lot of buffs on characters, which isn't always great this day. But yeah, I mean, the crit damage stuff, there's all kinds of different ways to do that. And is it really that necessary? I mean, obviously it's necessary for the orb, but there's ways around it. Compared to Kate Sith, is he really that helpful? I mean, Kate's probably helping you a lot more, right? His armor's unity, not support.
So we got some chatter in chat saying, I think this is for units who can't cap on multiple dumps, Garland follow-ups, or Sid Prompto styled EXs for low brave hit HPs, but have a lot of them and benefits from an extra 30% brave per hit. I mean, I kind of see what you're saying, but at the end of the day, I'm looking at the formula. Would bringing Saz plus, like, Prompto, would that add up together more than, say, like, Machina plus, I don't know, even fucking Jekt? Who knows, right? Like, we're talking about enabling, like, two characters enabling each other, right. But are those two characters gonna do more than two other characters, right? Like, is that actually gonna make them competitive? Or are you sacrificing too much in one slot for Saz just to make another mediocre character do better?
Right.
And like that's something I've been facing a lot, re-entering really competitive MMO rate. Like that's a formula that's being brought up a lot. It's like, how many slots, and is the total even better? Like, usually it's not. Like, I don't know. It seems like a shit formula. I'm not saying that was a bad bring up, and I do appreciate that point. It's just, I don't think anyone would honestly do that rather than pull new and better DPS.
Well, again, right. And I mean, yeah, I mean, if you want to kind of TCC challenge him and go, just with another kind of character on that end, but even in the Garland, and I've seen him paired with the Garland follow up. Yeah, is he going to carry you through tight turn counts with damage dealers that are doing over 1 million damage anyway? I mean, we're just in a weird phase of the game, right? Where
we really are.
Nate supports. I mean, there was a time in the game when, man, support was everything. like Zaz 35 era. Man, so like to a character that could actually add a generic attack up to your characters made the world of difference. Those generic debuff or generic buffs that Zaz had broke an entire era of the game because we got him early, and he made everybody better. That's just not where we are right now, and it's we're just not going to get there. So
I totally agree with you. Macnell always reminds us not to live in the future, but my original concerns for garbage time, even though if we're in garbage time now,
well, right, yeah,
I am enjoying it more
Right.
than I thought I would, right? Like, as somebody who's not as active in the game right now, I'm still doing all the events. I'm still playing constantly. I'm just not doing the half a dozen challenge runs per event. But Mark seems to have picked up that mantle, so it balances out, right? Uh, and so like I'm not as hardcore into the game at this time. So pulling a new toy, I'm the new Mark. We've swapped places. I pull a new toy and I'm having a lot of blast just playing with the new toy, right? Whereas Mark's sitting here grinding out the challenge runs. We've completely fucking swapped places. That being said, so I am enjoying garbage time more. But when I was hardcore looking ahead to garbage time, it was like this balancing seems way off because the numbers are increasing so fast that, like Mark said, supports are kind of falling the wayside because each DPS releasing is trying to one up each other. They're all capping, and then they're all hitting hard, like have more dumps and more brave hits. Like the power creep is accelerating so fast in these couple of months, and that's why like JP was posting like profit losses because why keep pulling? It accelerates so fast it gets exhausted to keep up with. BC and others who always live banner to banner, and JP said, "Oh, this is when they accumulated their biggest hoard yet," because it's just that the numbers player side increase so much faster than numbers enemy side. In the end, it almost starts losing meaning. Supports are in a bad spot. We had a support meta back in the day. I think this is the time when supports are at their least powerful because everyone can cap so naturally by themselves, especially when their AAs start getting reworked.
Yeah.
We're in a weird fucking spot in this garbage time.
Yeah. Yes, thank you, Lillian, for yourdreams.com. I think that is probably spam, so but go check that out if you want a virus on your computer or in your real life. But let's talk about the mission dungeon that comes along with Zaz. It is just like the Kate Sith mission dungeon. You have to do some nodes, kind of like Abyss, where you have to bring colors. It's not hard. There's 3 level 73 Cosmos, 1 Chaos, and then the Lufenia Plus. And yeah, so I did get to Lufenia Plus, and I ran it once and failed. And why I failed was because I wasn't paying attention, and they have big Brave Gain ups, and when they get them, they get huge defense, and then you need to hit. The orb is critical damage, so the orb ticks up with critical damage, and if you are attacking a broken target, it's always critical, but if they are not broken, then you need to have a character that boosts critical damage, like Zaz, Kate Sith, Aranea, a whole host of other characters do the same thing, Barrett, or you need to instant break them. So I was reading, I think on Compendium. Everybody can check out Dissidia Compendium. I think I was reading on there that they might have a phase where they're immune to gravity or they're immune to break. I'm not 100% sure on that instant break. I think they might be immune to instant break. So we know just from playing it once, because there's nothing on this fight yet online. We know from doing this once that at 69% and 39%, they gain a massive amount of Brave, about 100,000 Brave, 99,999. They have a huge defense spike, and you need to break them. They have a pretty nasty recast ability that puts a whole bunch of debuffs on your characters. So you want to probably be able to tank that. You can bring debuff evasion if you want to deal with that. You need to bring some way to do crit damage up or just to be able to constantly break them. Bravery might be able to do that. Gravities can probably do that. Bart's is probably a good. They're not immune to gravity, Final ASIM says. So they're immune to instant break. Myriad destroys their Brave. Orin destroys their Brave. Bart's can, yeah. So anybody gravity calls are good options there as well. They only do that twice, I believe, at least in the run that I saw, and I was pretty close to killing them. But the orb popped right at the end because I wasn't doing crit damage on one of them and wasn't paying attention to it. So, yeah, so pretty straightforward. I think you can delay them forever if you really want to. Bring some defensive characters, bring some follow-up attacks, ignore defense. Yeah, Shadow back in JP. Setzer makes everything easy. Mino, you haven't had a chance to do this or even play this fight yet, so
do you know? Yet. I haven't even turned on my game for this. Oh, sorry, you were going to say?
No, I was just going to say, did you know anything about this fight, or had you heard anything about the fight?
Oh, 100% no. Sorry. No. Like, characters, yeah, I'll do the research. Fights, I have not been. So I'm a little unreliable on that front when it comes to these Thursday releases.
Well, from my first foray into the fight, it does not seem very challenging. So I think you're probably okay with a.
This is supposed to be when it starts, right? This is supposed to be when garbage.
Yeah, thank you, Yin. Yin gave me Yin sent me a DM here from Compendium, I assume. So when they take a defensive posture, grants Brave, raises defense. Prohibits player, and this is one of them goes to 69 or one of them goes to 39. Prohibits player party Brave recovery, so no, you can't recover Brave, and cannot force break, so no instant break. All right, so you can gravity, you can instant break, so you just need to, figure that out. That is in the description. Thank you, Ian. In-game description. So, Redbeard, you already one-shot it. Did you bring Lion? I'll wait. Sure.
Shit, I did that to somebody the other day.
Sure hope you did.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Waiting for that Lion run. I don't even have Lion's LD. I'll bring her. I'll bring her.
Through. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
Come on.
Man, I'm looking ahead. They're keeping consistent on these Thursday releases. We're gonna get blindsided a lot by these events.
Come on, Squex.
There's another one for the longest time for over 6 months. No Thursday releases, or the occasional Thursday release. So we're always prepared. Now, almost every Thursday there's a release.
Well, Mino, do you want to do some podcast questions?
Sure, of course.
All right. Well, you can always give us your podcast questions. Again, feel free to shout out to Jin Lee, our good friend Jin Lee. Jin Lee 0804 on YouTube. It's just Jin Lee on YouTube. Luck sacking stuff. Buying tickets off the black market. He's got like 3,000 tickets. He just buys them. He sells them. He's selling them to Resfoina. Check out Resfoina on YouTube as well. Good friends of ours. But yeah, feel free to, send us a membership. Send us a Twitch sub. You can use your Chocobo points if you want to ask us a question. Super chat if you want to ask us a question. Remember, 100 YouTube members. I will chase Jegrans BT 200. I'll green him 300. I'll blue him and use him with Eateroth because I hate myself. For your love. We'll do that over the couple weeks, and I'll do a video for that. So, Silocons says, do you guys enjoy it better doing Lufenia Plus with 2 waves and different orb conditions like Lena, or keeping it simple? I tend to like the single wave fights better, just because you can usually replay them a few more times. But, what's your take on that?
I'm a big fan of the 2 waves.
You like the 2-wave fights?
I'm a big fan of, I remember when I think Ink was complaining about one of the boss rushes that had conflicting orb conditions between waves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Back to back. I forgot. There was a lot of the boss rushes work like that. A lot of the regular fights work like that too. I think people were complaining about the new GL exclusive with the Sahagin and the Marlboro too, because it was a little different. I love... Throw more mechanics at me, please, I think. I'm always most pleased with the fights I have to think about the most. The fights that, what did you think of this Jegrans fight? I thought if we didn't have to let the enemy act, it would have been too simple. I
Yeah.
thought having to let the enemy act was an okay balance.
Yeah, no,
For
I
sure.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've always just been a bigger fan of stacking mechanics upon mechanics. I know some people are saying everyone has a different personal tolerance for what's too much, but 2 waves is good for me. 2 waves with 2 different orbs, that's a ton of fun. Building a team that doesn't fulfill just 1 orb, but 2 sets of orbs,
Yeah.
that's a lot of fun. I wish the game would do more of that.
Chaos Blast, thank you for the subscription. Happy holidays to you. Jin Lee saying, just a FYI, need to run like one more Cosmos to max your character points. So just like the Kate Sith dungeon, if you just run each fight once, you will not get enough character points. So we already talked about the Q&A, but do you want to talk that question that you put in there, Mino?
No, I think we covered
Yeah.
it already. Like, what quality of life would you want? What did I say? Did I say something in that?
You did not, no.
Oh, darn. Shoot. Oh, right. I think somebody stole this from me. I said battle logs. Somebody stole this from me on one of the other shows.
Yeah,
There's
man.
just so many.
Man,
there's like half a dozen fucking shows now, and they all steal from us. I can't keep track of who's stealing what now.
Hard, yeah.
But yeah, no, I said battle logs, you assholes. Like
we need default parsers. Default parsers when.
Yeah, don't act like you guys know what battle logs are. Like battle log, like end of battle results. Who did what damage? Oh my god, my days these days are just staring at parses. Oh my god, Have I told you lately how much I hate FF14?
Yeah,
because I really fucking hate that game. I hate that game. But yeah, no, lately I've just been staring at logs all day, every day. Your friend asked for help. I just sent him more logs. And it's just like, oh man, like, yeah, I'm so used to it now. Like, that would be an invaluable tool to DissidiaFFOO, but I don't think they'd ever do it. I believe Josh has said before that the reason they didn't put the Tonberry infographics on the official Twitter account was because Squex officially doesn't like potencies and hard numbers being out there. Yeah. So they really don't like an educated player base, and they really don't like solid information out there. So I don't think
it doesn't benefit them. No, I mean, it doesn't benefit them, yeah.
Yeah, it's really hard to sell a weapon if their potency numbers are lower. Hell, potency doesn't even matter, but you see all these people still today saying potencies, right? So yeah. How about you, Mark?
People are champion Jegrans. I think I mentioned it earlier that being unable to bring a non-boosted character to a boosted co-op room seems like an easy fix because they can already lock out characters. And the only people who bring non-boosted characters to boosted rooms are new players and trolls. And so, it's a pain in the butt. Ito asked, do the hosts go back and try to solo or duo Transcendence after previously locked characters get an upgrade or adjustment? No. I do Transcendence and leave it alone. Why would I ever go back and do Transcendence? That's on.
I don't, for better or for worse, I don't like doing old content.
No, right.
I mean, this game asks plenty already. We just said this new co-op is about 2 to 3 hours, depending on your books. I don't need to be doing like soloing and duoing old content. I don't know. It's just inefficient to me, Mark.
Yeah.
Inefficient use of time, inefficient use of resources. Like, I don't understand.
I beat the Dimensions End stuff. I beat it once and lock it in. I mean, if there was something I really needed to unlock, yes, maybe, but I don't go to try to free up characters. I got my, how many ever characters in Dimensions End, Entropy and Pathos, and keep using new characters for Transcendence.
What's the benefit of freeing the characters if, say, Entropy's dead? Or for example, the latest Transcendence, I know people were like soloing that with Orin and stuff because they could. Right. I kind of get that, right? Keeping characters free. But to me, there's like, look, we've lived through all of Entropy, and by the end, we had so many good characters free that by the final stretch of Entropy, we're just like, throw in whoever.
Almost every time I've saved a character for a future tier, I haven't used that character on the future tier.
100%. So I try not to stress about it anymore and just throw in teams of 3 because why not? Like I have more fun playing with teams of 3 than solo teams, right?
Yeah,
like a
use
solo Orin fight is like a 45-minute fucking fight. I don't want to sit through that shit.
Right.
But I'm seriously asking, what is the benefit of going back and freeing these characters, Edo, if you want to enlighten us? Or is this a situation like Sword Art Online where Kirito's level 99, but he hangs out with all the level 1s to feel better about himself? Like, is this just a power creep thing? Because I'm not sure why someone would do that.
I don't get the reference, but okay, Crush.
That was a deep pull. I'm very sorry. I'm very drunk. That was I reveal a little weebness there. Yeah, it's
Never watched Sword Art Online. Not familiar with this anime. I just never watched Sword Art Online. Crush, what is the worst FR combination you can think the devs may do? Braska and a Metatilian. Anything with Jegrans in it would be pretty awful. I don't.
Are we talking like characters that are in the game or FF characters in general?
He said, what is the worst FR combination you can think the devs may do?
Okay, so then possible future characters.
Sure.
Don Corneo and Porum.
Yep, there you go. I agree. That's the worst. That is the worst option. Yeah. Just Adam, Drunk Dragoon. With Divine Summons now complete in JP, do you think they're going to take all of them to the next level, 30, 40, 50, or would you rather see new bi-monthly content for Gems tickets? Personally, I'd like to see an antagonistic series start, level 300 fights versus Garland, Kefka, Sephiroth. Oh, that's interesting. Some big boss fights, yeah. Do you think we're done with summon boards, or are we going to have a new era of summon boards after Divine?
I think it's not hard to keep adding 10 levels of summons. I think it's very easy to just make them do more hits, more damage to keep up with the eras, right?
More turns in your summon phase. I mean, they could do a lot to help bridge, potential help use summons in a way that's going to help potential future content. So I mean, yeah.
Even if they weren't gonna give us more power, another summon turn is like a lot of power, I think. But if they just wanted to do like, oh, here's another board to farm just to get your regular resources, and guess what? Ramu now does 8 hits instead of 6, and has a higher HP cap. Like that alone, like people just want the resources, right? I don't think people care that much about summons getting strong.
Right. C-Sam says, with the holidays here, I'm curious, what is the thing that would distract you most from Defo? Nothing. Defo is the most important thing in my life. Mino, what are your...
Literally everything else. What I don't understand this question. Literally everything else, like holidays, real life.
Play this game 15 minutes a day. Like
friends from out of town. I got gatherings I gotta go to.
Yeah.
There's a couple of dinners this fucking weekend, and then like New Year's Eve parties next week. And then FF14 rating, and then I'm meeting up with friends from like Korea and Japan and stuff like just there's so much to do. This is literally the last priority. This game takes like 5 minutes a day. Are you kidding? Some days I forget to log in. Period. And I'm okay with missing 100 gems. Who gives a shit?
It's true.
But like when I do log in, it's Tifa Auto Plus Cactor Hunt.
Hey.
And I'm done.
Hey, where are these freaking gargoyles? This is a question for me. Where are these freaking gargoyles? Where's Macnol? Where are the gargoyles? There's no gargoyles?
I'm pretty sure it's on Macnol's site.
Where are the freaking gargoyles? Act 2, Chapter 3. Thank you. Thank you, Bishop. Go. Act 2, Chapter 3. I'm going to go there right now. Frog asks, how do the hosts like their steak cooked? I'm glad you asked, because we are having steak for Christmas Day, because I like steak. Don't eat it all the time. Where's Act 2? Act 2, Chapter 3. So how I like my steak. So I have a meat market down the street from me. Good meat market. Get some really nice New York strip steaks. That's a cut of steak I really enjoy. It's a little cheaper than the fillets, but it's also a bigger, meatier cut. I get about 1.5 inch cut. Doing 5 or 6 this year, I think, because we're gonna have a couple other people with us. That's like 1.5 pounds of meat each steak. It's a good hearty steak. Get coarse sea salt, and then you brine it. Cover the whole thing with sea salt. Keep it in the fridge overnight, few hours. Arguing whether it's 3 hours or 6 hours or 24 hours. I just put it in the fridge overnight. Let that salt seep into it. Make it real nice. Then next day, cover it. Pepper, garlic, salt, or not garlic salt, just garlic powder, whatever kind of seasoning you want on it. Then I put in the oven, or you can put in the grill. I just don't have a grill right now. Slow cook it. Get that internal temperature to about 250. And then reverse sear it. Let's get a hot pan, oil, heat it up as hard as you can, and then you get that nice sear on the steak. Get all the juices sealed in. Let it sit a little bit. Cut it in. Oh, man, just nice. About 265, right? Just so good. Just melts in your mouth. Delicious. So good. So good. I'm just thinking about it. Makes me happy.
So hungry. I didn't eat dinner yet, Mark. Fuck. And I'm drinking, so I'm extra.
Am I in Act 2, Chapter 3? Where are these freaking gargoyles? Beginning of the chapter. Where's the chapter? Where's the chapter? My
answer's nowhere near as elaborate. I was just gonna say I do medium rare, because I'm too pussy for rare. Or a lot of restaurants in LA, I don't know if this is nationwide now, they stopped serving rare meat because of the liabilities.
Oh yeah, sure.
So I don't know if is that just a LA, California thing?
No, I think other places have done that as well. Yeah, where you can't have.
Yeah, I think they're really cracking down on rare meat. Yeah, so like medium rare is as rare as a lot of places will go now, and I don't. So like medium rare felt like a safe middle ground for me. Rare, I feel like changes the taste.
Yeah,
depending on the cut. So like sometimes it's wildly different getting a rare like New York T-bone-in steak or a rare like sirloin cut or something like that. Wildly different. And so the other thing is a lot of these places and when my friends grill, because I have a lot of friends that love to grill, thank God. I have a lot of like Mark-like friends that'll give me a good steak, is that they grill it completely unseasoned because everyone seasons themselves.
Sure.
And me being cooking impaired, I have no idea how to season. If I gun to my head, if I had to season 2 steaks exactly the same, I'd die every single time. No chance. No chance at all. I am so cooking impaired, I would not be able to make the same thing taste the same if my only tools were salt. And the amount
that's all you need.
That's
all you need. Salt makes food taste better. And that's why I like to dry brine it, because you just cover the freaking steaks in salt. And that's all the salt you need. Then you cover it in, it soaks in, and then you can just add a little garlic, a little pepper. You don't have to go crazy. You can add a little whatever kind of seasoning you like on top of it. But you don't. It really doesn't need much else. Yeah, you can just do it with the salt, man. The brine, so good, so good. But yeah,
it might as well be alchemy. I don't fucking get it. Yeah, I don't fucking get it.
It is chemistry.
If I ever successfully convince you to watch that cooking anime that I love so much, like they're talking about all these cooking techniques. They might as well be talking about like power levels and like key training, because it's all bullshit to me. Right? Like they could be lying to my fucking face and I'd eat it all up. I don't understand. I just want to eat the food. I'm very, very cooking impaired.
Black Nero says I should watch this cooking anime with my kids. We like to watch as a family cooking shows, so like we watch Bake Off. So it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like that. Yeah.
Awesome.
BC's a fucking hater. Don't even get me fucking started on. Next question.
Food wars is what he's talking about, Frog. So X says, with ticket cap being a real problem if you're Mark and pull weapons for free all the time, hey, I've just spent 200 tickets without getting anything. How did the host prioritize claiming their stashed hoarded tickets? I don't have any hoarded tickets. I don't know what you're talking about. We all probably have tickets, summon boards, divine boards. No. This assumes you cleared out the tickets in your inbox. So how do you have a lot of tickets, Mino, sitting around?
I've never gone over the 999 cap ever.
Yeah.
Not once, because when I get close,
Tickets are worthless.
I'll spend that shit. Yeah. I honestly, I'm spending a lot more tickets every banner than I should at this point. I'm at this boredom factor where I log in and I see a new banner and I just throw tickets for fun now. I'm back to my old habits, pre-pity of let me pull till I see a gold orb at least.
Yeah.
I've gotten pretty lucky the last couple of banners because of that. But no, I've never capped. If I did, though, I think I would. How do the pros do it? Let me see. If I wanted to store tickets, I would store them on the divine boards first.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Then I don't
summon
like
boards.
I don't like the summon.
Yeah, it's
boards.
a pain in the butt.
Yeah, it's such a pain in the butt. And then you look at your character and they're missing things, and you're like, did I forget to fucking?
Have you done Jegrans yet?
Yes.
Okay, you've already claimed his tickets? Yeah, I haven't claimed his tickets yet. So there are a couple characters like that I have not claimed their tickets.
I did that and finished his token challenge, and I'm still at like under 400 tickets. Guys, I am the poorest ticket hoarder. Trust me.
Yeah, talk to Jin Lee. He's got, and Rez now.
Mark has a good stash too, Mark. Let's hear it from a pro. Oh, so my theoretical one is divine boards first, then event tickets that can sit in your inbox, right? Because they sit there for like 90 days.
90 days.
Yeah. And then
yeah, Jin Lee did do a video on it. Yeah, so I do have a handful of tickets in divine boards. So if you get your divine boards up to 20 and you level your summon up the first 20 levels, then the last 10 levels of your divine boards, you can just have the points there and kind of hold on to that. It's like 140 tickets. So you can keep tickets in there. You can keep tickets in your summon boards like Jegrans. Just don't unless you're using him, obviously. But even if you are, don't collect the treasures. Yeah, or get to ticket cap and then collect the treasures, and you can collect the gems and the armor tokens, but not the tickets. So you can have a whole bunch of just ticket nodes open. It's the last 13 levels for divines. Yeah. Yeah, you can give them in your inbox for 90 days. I don't have any in my inbox right now. And I'm down to 4 something because I spent 100 on Saz, 437. So I've probably got around 1,000 if I collected all of them.
It's disgusting. Truly disgusting.
Oh, we got people with several thousand. I mean, people have never collected any tickets from any summon board, any divine board. I mean, they've got 3,000-4,000. I don't know. I mean, I don't understand the idea behind not pulling in this game. Like, you can. I understand it, but every once in a while you use, part of it. Yeah, spoilers. No, I'm not. I don't have time to do other videos this time of year, so I'm not. I didn't upload my. I didn't upload any run videos for the Jegrans event. I didn't upload any polls. So I'm probably not going to this week. Maybe I'll do a couple videos next week if I have time, but this week I did not have time to upload videos, so this will be the only video. So, yeah, spoilers.
10 Carflow says, I'm going to reach that 999 cap soon. Thanks to the encouragement to save during this upcoming garbage time era from the ranting hour. BC, if you're still here, I only read this comment just to let you know that you're creating hoarders. The same hoarders you claim to hate. Apparently, ranting hour is encouraging people to hoard to ridiculous levels. So, thanks for that, BC.
Yeah. There you go. I don't think you should hoard for the purpose of hoarding, right? But you can certainly be a little bit more cautious during this era. You don't have to pull to win.
I think I respect people who live banner to banner
There's a lot of
and
them.
pull constantly more than people who hoard to ridiculous levels. Oh, go ahead.
No,
What were you gonna say?
no. I mean, I think it is. I mean, it's at some point it's like it's too much, right? I mean, you can now. It's a problem, in my opinion, when you hoard. And I know BC has a problem. This is the problem BC has with these individuals. I agree. I have the same problem. Or this is how I understand what BC has a problem with. I will put it that way. The people who hoard and won't spend, but don't beat content. Or like, I don't have any greens, but I can't beat any. I can green 7 people, and I can't beat any content, but I won't green anybody. Why? Or I don't have any blue armors, or why? Or, I haven't pulled in 2 months and I can't beat content, but I don't want to pull. I don't want to use my gems. How many gems you got? 2.5 million. Well, okay. And those people do exist. And that's like, why are you saving? Go ahead. What were you going to say?
No. I'm going to one-up you, Mark. It's not even the people who can't beat content. People who skip 75% of the banners, I feel like most of them aren't even playing a game anymore. I feel like they're just watching numbers go up. I in a very I think Mark pulls a lot. I'm starting to pull a lot. Ink said a while ago.
I don't remember. I mean, the last banner I've actually skipped. I mean, this cycle is probably the least I've pulled this last 2 eras. I mean, I pretty much pulled on every banner in the last era, and I've pulled on pretty much every banner in this era. So
yeah, I use my resources pretty fucking freely. I show BC and Macnol all the time. Those filthy hoarders like Macnol say I'm overcompensating. I have everybody's C35 and C90 armor. All my armor tokens are spent. As soon as I get them, I fucking spend them. High armor tokens too. What am I saving them for? As soon as I get 20 high armor tokens, I spend them. What do I have on BT resources? I have 1 BT book right now. That's it. How many for high armors? I have 2 books and 1 ingot.
I have
2 books and 1 ingot.
No freaking high armor resources.
I am living resource to resources. My gem stash is fat, yes. But every day I agree more and more with Inkwelder. Inkwelder said, I think like half a year ago or more, he said, if you have 1 million gems at this point, I don't think you're realistically going to spend that down to 0 before the game dies.
Right.
I think Ink is absolutely right, because I can't think of the last banner I've skipped, and I'm back at 1.2 mil. It's fucking disgusting. And like you could look at my chart. I'm missing Mark has everything. I'm missing maybe like 12 LDs.
No, I'm missing a whole bunch of LDs.
Yeah.
I'm missing less BTs and I have all but 1 EX. But yeah, and I would have a lot more gems, but I let the community pay me to pity BTs. So
yeah, for people as disgusting as us with over 1 million gems, I don't think we're ever gonna run out, Mark. There's no way either of us are ever gonna run out. And I like.
Poor Slide. Yeah, BC is saying don't be a Slide. Poor Slide saved. Just wanted to play Final Fantasy VIII characters. And saved and just ended up quitting. And that's what a lot of people do. I haven't heard from heard from Hero Moricat, who I respected a lot. Hero was a lot of fun to listen to and to watch stream. I used to hang out. Hang out with him, but he only pulled the favorite waifus, and I mean he had well over 2 million gems and quit, and then what? Yeah, I mean it's.
Yeah, like it's just this imaginary money, guys. This is monopoly money.
Yeah, Strafe is saying we'll run out at FR era. Right, if you spend 400,000, but you're not. We already know that. The thing about FR era is it's encouraging even more hoarding. Really, because
Yeah.
you're not going to. The first part of FR era, you're not going to pull on all the FRs. We already know that you're going to be able to start getting those hyper power stones sooner. They're going to start being in events. They're going to start being in shops. They're going to start giving them to you because they realize they have screwed themselves because it doesn't help them to create a when you create a system where you have to spend resources, all it does is make you spend less resources at the end of the day, right? Like a system that says, well, if you really want this character, you're going to have to spend more to do it, then yeah, you're just going to pick and choose. Especially when we know Foresight, you can just ride Cam FR forever through the early part of the era, right? Get Kane and then get Cam, get Titus, and you'll probably be fine. But I'd rather play with different characters every couple of weeks.
Yeah, no, 100%. Back to like what we were saying, like I respect people who live banner to banner so much more because they're playing more of the game than hoarders. All right, fuck you, hoarders. I'm serious. The people who pull and have like 3 times the amount of characters you guys have and even synergy stomp every event, they're seeing way more game mechanics than you ever are running the same fucking character through every fucking fight. And these are the people that burn out the fastest we've seen. Honestly, the people who live banner to banner tend to stick around more because they're having more fun. Quitting with like a 1.5 mil gems, I don't fucking see the point. And just like you're denying yourself so much of the fucking game. We were talking content creation recently, Goose and BC and me, and it's just like challenge runs don't do well on a content creator metric.
Not at all.
Because and then when they were talking about that, because somebody was thinking of starting a channel, I was thinking to myself, yeah, I never watch challenge runs. What runs do I tend to watch in games I care about? How people can optimize the shit out of something, right? Like Clay's dumb 0 turn videos. As much as I hate that, I'd rather watch that than like I did this whole run with no S2 or something like that. I don't know. It's hoarding is degenerate.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to Redbeard Elite. Redbeard did go back and do this Lufenia Plus with Lion. So good job. Good job, Redbeard.
Good job, Redbeard.
It's garbage time. So bring Lion along for the ride.
Is this a DFFO equivalent of like groundhogs? Like if Redbeard can do it with Lion, it officially means it's garbage time.
Garbage time. Yeah.
The groundhog saw its shadow.
Yeah. No, I think it's fair. I think it's fair. I think it's fair. No, but good on him. Good on him. I appreciate that.
Good on you, Redbeard.
Appreciate that. I autoed this Lufenia. Must be easy. Must be easy.
Holy shit. Chat saying you're choosing violent. Must be easy if
must be easy.
Redbeard's entrapment. No. Fucked up.
Wow. You people really took that the wrong way. Hey. Thank you for your questions.
Oh. I want to plug myself one more time. Multi said recently on a recent ranting hour, bless you, multiracial lion, he said that I convinced him to fully green ject because apparently on some podcast before then, I was like, if you're not investing in pulling your favorites, what the fuck are you even playing this game for?
Yeah.
He said it really rang true for him. And so he was on the fence with Ject. He ended up going for it and putting every resource in it, and he's been having a blast in the game. And so I'm saying, if your fucking champion is Jegrans, and you're willing to like go to multiple Discords and podcasts and yell at people to tell them how good they are, but you yourself won't invest, why are you even playing the game? Why are you living life?
Yeah. If
you can't even invest in your favorites. What is empty husk of an existence?
Yeah. I agree. I don't know. Hey, looking ahead. We got the raid event, Act 3, Chapter 5, Part 2 on the 28th. The raid event on the 31st with Machina LD and Payne LD. Thank you, Frog, for the bits. Thank you for saving that till the end of the show as well. Appreciate that. On the 4th of January, we have Intersecting Wills with Snow LD. And on the 6th, we have a new character event, Ursula. And at some point after that, we should get a mid-month or early January kind of update on the next 2 cycles. So stay tuned to that. Thank you all for joining Mino and myself. Stick around for the post show. We'll chat a little bit more, hang out. This has been episode 180 of the Crystal Chronicles, recorded this Christmas Eve 2021. So glad you've joined us. Do consider follow, sub on Twitch. Really would like some more members on YouTube. So do subscribe and become a member. Only 99 cents on YouTube. We appreciate your support. Wherever you are listening, we're so glad. You have a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, whatever you celebrate. If you can be with family and friends, get off the game for a couple days and just enjoy time. And if you aren't, hey, let's say I don't really have anybody in my life and this is the community that I have. Great, come on our Discord. And hey, there might be a couple other people hanging out on Christmas that aren't with anybody else, maybe because of COVID, maybe just because they're living somewhere else. Jump on voice chat and just hang out. Have a good time for a couple hours and share. That's what this community is all about. So wherever you are, enjoy your time, and we'll see you all around. Goodbye. All right. We're going to pop in the post show here. I'm going to use the restroom real quick.
All right. I'll use the restroom too, and I'll meet you in there. No, I mean meet you in post show, Mark. God. Mark's taking a long time in the bathroom.
Wow. Did you say you were gonna meet me in the bathroom? It's not appropriate.
That's not what we
yeah, let me you got me in the post show. Thank you. A couple things here. When did Eamon get banned? Probably.
Frog, if you're still here, he'll be banned here when he's banned in the Frog server. We can do the it's like a double button press.
Yeah,
it's like the nuke button.
So, did Frog say? Oh, first of all, let me hit record. Welcome everyone to the post show, episode 180 post show. Thank you for listening. First of all, I'm getting spam bots in the chat here. That's fun. So let me take care of that and add those to the things later on. Well, I'm doing that, but Frog says $300 for Mark to blue green Jegran. Sure, somebody wants to super chat me $300 right now. I will pull for Jegran's full kit. Lot. Yeah, no,
that's a lot. We can give you a discount, right? Yeah. Like, come on,
no,
Mark.
But right now on air, right now. My thing was a couple of weeks for 100, 200, 300 YouTube members. So that's spread out over the entire community over several weeks. But yeah, no, if anybody wants to drop that cash straight up right now, I'll do it right on air. I will do it right on air. I will. No, I will. No, I don't. I will chase it with gems and green it and blue it right on air.
How do I donate? Can I Venmo you? Like
for you're gonna Venmo me $300 in cash right now.
I'll cover a good portion of it. It's the holidays.
It's the holidays.
Merry Christmas, Mark. All the shit. Okay, so VL through 5 subs. What is that worth? That's worth subs what, $5? So that's 25 right there.
You want to figure that out?
Yeah, it's 25. That's $25.
Sure. We'll count that as $5 a sub. It doesn't actually equal that at all, but
they're paying $5.
Yeah. Well, that's correct. We will consider that $5 a sub. Yes, correct.
All right, here's another 5. Here you go. I just prime sub. That's another 5. I'll throw you some Venmo money if people want to meet me halfway here. Literally everything I made this year from the podcast, I'll throw it right back at you. Well, that's like $100.
Wait till yeah, that's where chat's like that's like $2 in bets. Somebody keeping track of this. Somebody writing this down. You got a lot of money. You got a lot of money here. So
I think we're at like 125 now.
Where did you seriously Venmo me money?
I'm willing to.
Yeah, don't
cover any gap.
Don't do it yet. Yeah, certainly don't do it yet. Spend $4 for the 200 bits. There you no.
We'll count that as 5.
Yeah,
we'll count that as 5.
Spend it.
Chad.
Spend it. Yeah,
we'll round to 5.
Yeah. You get your money worth. So let me keep let me put this. So we got $25 plus 4 plus 5 is 30. We're at 35, right? 25. Yeah, $35. So yeah, we're getting close to 300. Getting close to 300. We're not quite at 300 yet. So yeah, if you all really want me to do this tonight, keep sending money. Happy to do this on air and be upset about it.
If you're listening,
who?
If you're listening, Sean, whoever donated $75 for me to green Caius, I greened Caius, used him for T6, and then literally never again. So you got your money's worth. You paid $75.
That's what I did for Golbez.
Yeah, to throw my resources into the trash. So you're welcome. I just want to update you to know that it was super effective.
Super effective.
I used him for one fucking fight and never again. I'm so mad.
It's pretty much how Golbez has been.
Now I won't be able to green Machina. So
well, the sad part about it is like Golbez, like because the current TCC challenges are no BT plus. Yeah. I can't even use my dumb Golbez on challenge runs. It's not even. He's not even good on challenge runs. Oh, he's so bad. But yeah, what you saw Spider-Man? What did you think of Spider-Man?
Super fan servicey, but I was the target audience. Yeah. I think old people like us will like it better. A lot of payoffs from 25, 30 years ago.
No, I'm definitely fan servicey, but at the same time, they were able to do something that I thought wasn't just because you could argue that a movie like Spider-Man 3 was fan servicey. Try to have all these characters in here and get all this done. That's kind of fan servicey. Try to do all these.
Yeah, but this much bigger. Okay, so with this movie, there's a lot more characters.
Yeah.
So they get less screen time each.
Yeah.
So most of their appearances and lines are like fan service. lines rather than it was a great movie overall, but I feel really biased. It really hit me in a sweet spot because I grew up with I watched every single
Oh
Spider-Man
yeah, me
movie
too. Right.
up to this point. Yeah, exactly. We're old, right? Like
Right.
I watched Spider-Man 1 in theaters and all the way through. So this means a lot more to me than like my 13-year-old nephew who's only watched Tom Holland,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Like it
Correct.
means way more to us
Yeah.
than it
No,
does
I
to
agree.
them. So I feel like I can't judge
Well,
the movie
that being
fairly.
said, my kids, I'm trying to say this without any spoilers. My boys who are 11, I have 3 children, but my boys who are 11 and 7, they loved it. I took them to see it. They loved it, and my 7-year-old especially loves the older Spider-Man films. And he likes the Spider-Man films that are arguably the worst Spider-Man films. Those are his favorite.
The older, yeah.
He
I mean,
he likes the Amazing Spider-Man films quite a bit.
oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's really crazy.
So he
I
loved this. He thought this was great.
so Tom Holland's run could end here.
Yeah, certainly.
It's possible because I think, as far as we know, there's no contract renewals
No.
for him yet.
No.
So if it ends here, I'm still a Tobey Maguire fan.
Oh yeah.
At heart.
Oh man.
That's the
yeah.
Spider-Man that's closest to the Spider-Man I know.
Spider-Man.
We always
yeah.
talk about this. Yeah, we always
Spider-Man
talk
1
about
and
this.
2 were so good. Spider-Man 2
We
is
ha-
just
yeah, yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
We have our own versions of the heroes in our minds because they're
Yeah.
written so much. So like Tobey Maguire is the closest to my Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That being said, I don't know how much we can say without spoiling things. I'm going to try my best to avoid it,
Right.
but just in case, big spoiler warning, guys. If you don't want to know any Spider-Man spoilers, potentially, no matter how minor, this is the time to tune out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Is that, first of all, quintessential Spider-Man story. We talked about this last time with the last movies, of Tom Holland movies, right? Like a Spider-Man story is a puberty coming of age story.
Yeah.
And this was it.
Yep.
And they did it very well with the multiverse concept.
Yeah.
With like the, hey, we've all been through this, you're not alone. This is part of growing up, or quote unquote becoming a Spider-Man. So like yeah. And also for better or for worse, it feels like a reboot of the Tom Holland Spider-Man to bring him more in line with the other Spider-Men, right?
Yeah.
Like he was very different. He was definitely a Zoomer Spider-Man in the other movies, and now they moved him and reset him in a position that he's very traditional Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Very like I always thought like, oh, this guy, like he doesn't suffer from the, like Spider-Man to me was always giving up a normal life to be a superhero.
Right.
But like Tom Holland, Zoomer Spider-Man seemed to have it all.
Yep.
You know, he had friends. Yeah. You know, like he wasn't actually like that bullied. You know, he wasn't that poor. You know, he had everything. And now he's reset to classic Spider-Man, right?
Yeah, pretty much, right, pretty much.
Yeah.
No, but you know, I think one of the cool things about the film that's not and there was like the costumes, like total fan service. Man, yeah. So again, without giving spoilers, some of the costumes just really great. Really great costume design. But to be able to take this, and I think this is what Marvel has really done well in the MCU. And I know there are a whole bunch of classic film directors and film student scholars that are, snobs that hate superhero movies, whatever. What the MCU has done now, moving forward, I think. So we had this story arc, this Infinity War Thanos story arc through how many ever films that was, 20-something films, right? And that was great. No, I don't think we've given away any big spoilers yet. There's a lot to spoil in this movie, believe me. There's a lot that you could spoil. There were some things that caught me off guard, which very rarely happens. But So they had that big story arc, and they introduced all these different characters and started bringing them together. But now what they have available to them and what they've been able to do with this movie, and I think moving forward, is basically they've created this giant sandbox.
Yeah, for sure. That's their goal, I think.
And now they can pretty much just play in it. And that's really what this movie felt like, is how can we take this sandbox and incorporate the fullness of Spider-Man in it and just play in it. And, I kind of feel that that's probably going to be what Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is. And hopefully, man, I mean, think about what they could do with Fantastic Four, because Fantastic Four is all about interdimensional stuff, and think about what they could do with X-Men, because I mean they could end up redeeming all the X-Men films in different ways, because I really felt they really tried to make that the entire franchise, kind of redeem the entire franchise, which I thought was great, in a way that was bigger than just MCU. But I'd have to see it again, or a couple of times to kind of determine, where in the ethos. But this is definitely a film that comes on the back of a lot of other films, right? So, I mean, it's like, Infinity War's great, Endgame is great, but it comes on the back of a lot of other films, right? It's not like, it's just like, oh, it shows up.
DK Black, could you elaborate on that? I'm kind of interested. DK Black says classic Spider-Man is actually the definition of the constant assessing of opportunity costs. I think that's an interesting thread. Could you elaborate on what you mean by that? Yeah. But go ahead, Mark.
No, that is interesting. I'm not sure what he means by that. But no, I really enjoyed it. And have you seen the new Matrix movie? I have not seen that yet.
Not yet. I'm saving that. Yeah. My brother-in-law wanted to catch that on Christmas, so I haven't. I'm behind on a lot of stuff. I haven't seen the Matrix.
No.
I haven't finished Hawkeye. People were asking about that.
No, I haven't finished. Started. I haven't watched all of What If yet. So.
I lost interest.
Yeah, we have. I haven't watched. We haven't watched. To be fair, I mean, people. I've said this before. I watch a very little amount of TV. Very, very little. So, like, when the Boba Fett show comes, is that out yet? I don't think it's out yet.
29th.
Yeah. So when the Boba Fett show comes out, the boys and I will watch that weekly, because Boba Fett is my favorite character in Star Wars, and so I'm super psyched for that. The Mandalorian we watched every week. Captain America and Falcon, WandaVision, Loki. We haven't watched Hawkeye now. We haven't watched the Star Wars anime. We didn't finish. I haven't finished the Bad Batch, the cartoons. Didn't watch What If yet. So yeah, so I'm a few behind on those. I haven't finished watching
I'm
Witcher.
super behind too. So I haven't even seen Witcher season 1. But
Witcher season 1 was great. Yeah,
I plan to binge a lot this holiday. But yeah, no, I'm super behind as well, guys. So, the only thing I've seen recently is Spider-Man.
I saw Dune, and then I saw Spider-Man. That's been it for the movies recently. We went and saw Dune. We went and saw Spider-Man. But I'm a big fan of The Matrix. I really, really like The Matrix. I mean, it's kind of definitely, the original Matrix movie was kind of definitely a moment in time kind of movie, right?
Yeah, my brother-in-law is a huge fan, so we said we'd watch it together on Christmas. I'm not as big a fan. He was a very big fan, and so he was trying to convince me to watch it, and his argument was like Keanu Reeves said in an interview that he's too rich to do movies for the money. So when he does a movie, like, he really believes in it, like there's a reason to do the movie, et cetera, et cetera. So we'll see.
Yeah. He's done some pretty What If. But yeah, Sonic 2, that looks great.
But I mean, like, if he enjoys it,
yeah.
Doesn't mean we have to enjoy
it. Yeah, that's
100%.
That doesn't mean it's good. Yeah. He was in that weird, what? So I was out visiting my friend Corey, who we do 14 with.
A real person?
Yeah.
Holy shit. I thought he was an internet friend, like me and BC, right? Like, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
no, the people that I play Final Fantasy 14 with are actual in real life friends. I've been to their house. We lived together for a number of years. Those are real people. DK is saying Parker is constantly finding himself where he has to choose between what furthers his goals as Peter Parker at the expense of Spider-Man, or the responsibility he carries with the powers of Spider-Man at the expense of his life at Peter Parker.
I
Yeah,
really like that
yeah,
take, DK Black. I really like that take. The fascinating thing, I don't think I would have put it in those words, but like the reason I really liked Spider-Man growing up, he was like my third favorite superhero, but it was a big one. But like there's like a million of them out there. He was always one of my favorite superheroes because I felt like he actually sacrificed stuff
yeah,
to be a hero, right? And I felt like the Tobey Maguire ones captured that perfectly.
yeah.
That like his personal life was shit because of Spider-Man, and like he gave up things to be a hero. That was big to me. Whereas like, like Tony Stark doesn't give up shit to be a hero. I don't care about your fucking
Right.
arguments. He's living the fucking life all the time. So like but like yeah, that's why Spider-Man was big to me. So
Well,
Tom
that's
Holland,
why
I'm gonna give it to
that's why I really really like, because Iron Man is one of my favorite heroes. Growing up, Batman, Iron Man, and Spawn were the comics I collected. I did read a lot of Spider-Man as well, and a little bit of Fantastic Four and X-Men, and of course Avengers, but and various other, Doctor Strange, Green Lantern, various other comics. But Iron Man definitely has been my favorite superhero forever. And one of the things I really liked about Iron Man in the MCU was, right, he did have everything, and he constantly misused it, and constantly was thinking because he had everything, he knew all the right answers. And over the course of the franchise, he basically had to learn to sacrifice and give up everything, which he didn't want. But and he did, right? But yeah, no, Peter Parker was always kind of this Peter Parker was just one of these just like everyday guys. Obviously, he was bit by a radioactive spider and superpowers, but he wasn't like Superman, right? DK. Superman was perfect and had everything, and Peter Parker just barely got by, loser, and I mean, in the comics, he was always pretty handsome, kind of that stereotype. Even in the old cartoon, he's always like super handsome, hanging around with Firestar and 7 other Black Cat, but yeah.
It was I'm trying to remember like the best parts of I don't know. He shit no, fuck, I was going to follow up on what DK was. It was no, continue on until I fucking remember, but Spider-Man great. What did he do? Tobey Maguire moved. Oh, right, like people were constantly pissed at him because of Spider-Man, right? Like Mary Jane was always pissed
Oh
at
yeah.
him. He was always letting down Aunt May. He was a genius, but he was like failing his classes
Yep.
because he was never in school. He couldn't hold a part-time
Yeah,
job. Like
Spider-Man 2 really Spider-Man
mess.
2 really got that right, right? Like, yeah, like you said, he wasn't doing well. He was screwing up in college. He was not doing well at work. What his relationships were a mess because, right, he was Spider-Man, and you can't have a normal life and be Spider-Man. No, we're talking about spoilers for Spider-Man 2 that came out in 2003, I guess.
Yeah, we're not talking. We're not talking. The new one
if you
anymore.
haven't seen Spider-Man 2,
No worries.
we're just talking about Spider-Man in general. So, we're
I was saying, I think another thing I really liked about him was that so like stereotypically in anime, the kids are always insanely godlike for some reason. I don't know why.
yeah,
It's just the way it is. Like Naruto, a 12-year-old boy will be better than adults. Like full grown, like and that's everything, right? Like little Goku in Dragon Ball and everything else. But like Spider-Man is a great subversion in the American sense in that like his powers are actually better than your average superhero, but he sucks. Like in the comics, they call him street level. That's the lowest
yeah,
level superhero you can be. when you just patrol the streets. There's like street, whatever, and then global, and then like cosmic, right?
Yeah.
And then like he was like the lowest level, and it was always
Your
a
friendly
point.
neighborhood Spider-Man, right?
Yeah, there was always a point to point out that even though he had really good powers, he was still a shitty hero because he was a kid with a lot to learn.
Right.
And that's why like at least the MCU went with like high school Spider-Man with everything
yeah,
else.
It really focused in on high school. I mean, Amazing Spider-Man did too, but that's a whole different kind of storyline. But yeah,
but he didn't have any other heroes to compare with.
No,
Here
right.
in the MCU, there's a lot of other heroes to compare with, right? So like in Civil War, he gets like decked out by all these more experienced heroes with no fucking
which is
powers,
great, right?
Like, yeah.
Yeah, it didn't cost Clark Kent's personal life to be Superman. It always cost Peter Parker. It always cost Peter Parker something, right? Yeah, no, I agree with that. A lot. But yeah, I always liked Spider-Man, and I mean he obviously one of the eldest of the superhero franchises and one of the oldest Marvel franchises as well. So yeah, that's interesting thinking about MCU did that well. The fact that he's like a street level character who has a lot more powers than most of the, even the Daredevils, the Luke Cages, the Blades. I mean, and they all have powers, but those kind of vigilantes. Punisher doesn't have powers; he just has guns, right? Contacts. He has contacts. That's a power. But yeah, it is. But just comparatively, Spider-Man has tons and tons of powers.
His powers are too good, almost.
It isn't, but it is interesting given, and this might be again trying not to be too spoilery here, given the fact that the MCU Spider-Man arguably had more powers than either incarnation because he had all of his powers plus the Iron Man tech. I mean, they made it clear MCU tech is more advanced than the MCU Earth has more advanced technology than previous Spider-Man Earths, right? So he had the most powers, but the enemies that he has fought, besides Thanos, the enemies that he's fought in his movie, Vulture and Mysterio, were literally just guys with suits, right? I mean, they're literally just Stark tech guys. Whereas Tobey Maguire was fighting super soldiers and Andrew Garfield was fighting super soldiers. Those versions of Spider-Man were fighting actual super villains who were super powered as opposed to and smart, like genius level empowered villains with resources and abilities and intellect, where the Vulture was a guy who got rich working selling tech and making himself a good suit. just like normal street level kind of vigilantes, and I mean they even made a joke in one of the films, right, or maybe in the first one, in Homecoming, about hey, these are not your pay grade yet, right? Like you're not old enough to fight these kind of villains yet. You need to just like stick to bank robbers, even though you're arguably one of the more powerful. I mean, arguably Peter Parker in the MCU more powerful than Iron Man, right? Because he has actual superpowers.
Spider-Man's always
powerful
been the eternal. He's the eternal rookie, even in comics. Like even in recent fucking comics, he's treated as a low-level superhero, always. And like he's always he has the eternal rookie status. That's why making him a teenager in the MCU was a pretty okay decision. Right? Like I signed up with that. Yeah, but I'm saying like for people who aren't familiar with the comics, he's always treated as very, very low level, right? Like, and it's always joked about in the comics as well. Like, I remember, did you read, shit, which is the, fuck, what is that last comic arc of the Dark Ages where they invaded Asgard or something? And I remember, I don't know, Norman Osborn threw together a supervillain army, and they're like, we're gonna take down Asgard, and
Yeah. Okay.
everyone's scared as shit, and they're like, and then he's like, don't worry, Thor is like the literal quote was like, Thor is like the Bruce Lee of Asgardians, and everyone else is only about Spider-Man level, and all the villains are like, oh, okay, all right, like that, that's no problem,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So like,
Oh, yeah.
he's always been seen as the eternal rookie. So like it's always like I always love the stories that really hammer that in. Like the original Gwen Stacy story.
Yep.
That's the only thing the Amazing Spider-Man did well
Yeah.
was the original Gwen Stacy story where like he tries to rescue Gwen Stacy from the fall, but he fucks up because he's inexperienced. So
Yeah.
like she's falling off a bridge, just like in the first Tobey Maguire movie, but like Spider-Man tries to catch her with his web, but that's not a good way to catch people.
Nope.
So the sudden jolt of the web snaps her neck. And
Right.
that was like a haunting thing for him. He's inexperienced, he didn't know, so he fucks up. Like
Yeah, I mean
that's always
that was
Spider-Man.
one of the original. Yeah, that was one of the original storylines, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the comics, well before either of us were born. Um, that storyline, right? Yeah, and I mean that was kind of the Amazing Spider-Man storyline. This weird. I hadn't ever watched them until recently, so
Huh.
I did not watch them when they came out in the theaters. I loved the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans. I had never watched the Amazing Spider-Mans. I was just at the point in my life where I was doing other things and getting married and having kids and stuff. Um, so my youngest son is of course on YouTube and loves Spider-Man, and so he wanted both of those for his birthday last year, and so we bought them, and so we've watched them multiple times. And they're not terrible, right? They're not terrible
Yeah,
films,
I have bad memories, but I only saw
but
them when they were in theaters.
they're not terrible films. Um, they tried to do a different thing with it, and I don't know that they needed to. I mean, they were still trying to they were trying to build something, and it wasn't quite MCU. The MCU was starting and taking off, and they were trying to do something to keep their contract. Because if you don't know how that works, if you're listening, you don't know how this all came down. Marvel sucks. At DC sucks too, but Marvel sucks in terms of as a company. They have made lots of bad decisions over the years. And
Yep.
so one of the decisions they made that helped them back in the late 80s, early 90s, I think, was the CEO at the time said, "We need to start selling off or renting." No, we're not spoiling anything, BC. Um, we need to start selling off or renting characters to movie and film companies. And so they started to make these contracts. And so Fox got Fantastic Four and X-Men. Sony got Spider-Man and all the Spider-Man characters, right? Nobody wanted Iron Man, Avengers, all those. They wanted the big ones. Who are the big Marvel characters? You have Spider-Man's number one.
Wolverine's
Fantastic.
number two.
What? Yeah.
Wolverine's number
Yeah,
two.
Wolverine now is number so X-Men and then of course Fantastic Four. You could argue Captain America, Hulk, Avengers after that.
They were kind of B tier before the MC.
Yeah, exactly.
Real.
Um and so the contracts work so you had to continuously they had to make a movie every so often or the rights defaulted back to the comic to Marvel.
That's not just Marvel. That's the TV and movie
Yeah.
industry in general. That's
Yeah.
why you see so many DuckTales reboots
Yep.
and My Little Pony reboots and Strawberry Shortcake reboots. Like that's why you get constant cartoon reboots because that's how they keep the rights.
Yeah. So that's why Spider-Man, and so that's why there's been so many X-Men movies, so many Spider-Man movies. That's why they've kept trying to do Fantastic Four, and it sucks. Um, but yeah, and so they just try to do some different stuff because the Spider-Man 3 did not do well, and so they rebooted it, and Amazing Spider-Man did well, but then Amazing Spider-Man 2 didn't do well, and they were hoping to do a whole kind of like Sinister Six story arc. That's why you had all those costumes in the Sinister Six, to introduce all these different villains and make their kind of own little universes, which was what they wanted, but it never really worked out. So the relationship that Sony built with the MCU has really worked out well for Sony. And then, of course, Disney bought Fox, so Disney now has the rights to all the Fantastic Four and all the X-Men villains. So technically now Disney has the ability to do anything in the MCU. If they want to use Spider-Man stuff, they have to work with Sony, though. So it will be interesting. Oh, I never saw Eternals. Did you see Eternals?
I did not. I heard mixed things.
Yeah, I heard mixed things too, but I did not see it.
The mixed things were that, like, people who were expecting the typical blockbuster Marvel movie were disappointed, but people who went in not expecting that said it was a decent film.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're okay going in knowing it's not a superhero like punch fest, it'll be okay.
Right.
I'm just gonna wait till it hits Plus. Marvel is pretty hit and miss.
Yeah.
Because, like, all the characters I give a shit about are gone. My top 3 favorite superheroes goes Captain America, Hulk, and Spider-Man, and those top 2 are gone now. So, it's everything under the Avengers are kind of like.
You're not a big Amadeus Cho or She-Hulk fan.
Is Amadeus Cho coming? I don't
know. No, I don't know. I'm just saying, but would that be okay if there was a different Hulk? Not Bruce Banner.
So I guess back before I would tune into MCU out of nostalgia and loyalty. Now it's case by case basis.
Yeah.
So I think most of their stuff is still good. For example, I hated the Hawkeye comics that the Hawkeye series is based on.
Oh,
but
okay.
they changed so much that I actually like the Hawkeye series.
Yeah, no, I've heard
they changed all the stuff that I hate. But I hated this who wrote this one? It was somebody who writes a lot of Spider-Man, Daredevil. It was Matt something. But basically I hated this run that the series is based on. Yeah. But it was great. And they change a lot. I think they take the names only. Like Age of Ultron movie was nothing like the Age of Ultron in the comics.
Oh no.
Or right. WandaVision was nothing like House of M. Both were good though. I actually liked House of M.
Civil War was really nothing like Civil War either, right?
Yeah. So it's a case by case basis now on whether it'll be good or not.
Yeah,
I think.
Well, and I think it's opened. I think it's clear now that it's opened up a lot more. So it's not one. I mean, it wasn't technically one congruent story, but it was all connected. And now what's connected is the sandbox. The universe is connected. And everything can play in the universe, but it's not like this one overarching story yet. Maybe they're going to get back to that. I
think they're going to do a multiverse story. There's for sure that I don't know if it's spoilers to bring up Loki because that's old as shit now. It's over a year old, but they set up phase 4, right?
Yeah, they set up a potential where the bad guy from Loki could come in and
they confirmed that that's going to be the next Thanos, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how that plays out and so far it hasn't. I mean, it hasn't in any of the in the films, right?
Kind of. All the multiverse breaking?
Oh, no, right, the multiverse, but in terms of him being kind of this connecting tissue, right? So but I think that's fair, right, to say, hey, it's not necessarily I got to see every movie. It's what looks good. What am I going to enjoy?
Yeah. I don't think I'll see a lot of things in theaters. Spider-Man was special just because so many of my friends wanted to go.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason I took the podcast day off because it's hard to schedule a bunch of adults going to the same thing. So, when you guys are old, you'll understand. But as for other Marvel, that's the last Marvel movie I saw in theaters besides Endgame. Oh, I saw that stupid Chinese one, Shang-Chi, because
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of Asian friends. That's as I said, that was like the Black Panther of Chinese people, and they all wanted to go see it for the representation. Damn it, I can't believe that works so well. But yeah, but other than that, I didn't watch Eternals. I didn't watch Scarlet.
Oh, Black Widow,
No,
yeah.
Black Widow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna watch Doctor Strange 2.
Oh yeah, I love Wanda, so I'll go. I like Doctor Strange too.
Watch any of the Venoms, right?
I liked Venom. Yeah, I haven't seen the new one, but the original one, because again the boys wanted to watch that, so we'll probably buy the Let There Be Carnage. But I enjoyed Venom. It's Agent Venom kind of storyline. Where he's kind of like a not, and maybe not Agent Venom. It's an anti-hero Venom. Yeah. So
they say they dropped a name reference in the Venom movies. Lethal Protector. I remember.
Oh
that
yeah,
was
Lethal Protector. Right.
So,
Yes. Yeah. That's
so like
yeah.
that was probably one of the. But wasn't Lethal Protector Flash Thompson? Am I tripping?
Oh, you might be right. Yeah.
Lethal Protector was when Flash Thompson was Venom.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Yeah. 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 Let me look that up.
But I mean, that was when he was at its most heroic. So.
Yeah.
I guess.
No, that's Eddie Brock. Yeah. No, that was Eddie Brock.
That is Eddie Brock?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. That's where he became the anti-hero originally, right? Yeah, because he's fighting. He's fighting Scream, Riot, Phage, Lasher, and Agony. Yeah, the other symbiotes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
That was Eddie. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, that was a 6-series run in the early 90s. Yep. I may have that. I may have that series. Yeah. Yeah. So, yep. So similar. Yeah, I mean, that's what he's fighting other symbiotes in that movie and doing that kind of stuff. So, so it goes.
But yeah, it's case by case basis now. I know they're swinging for the fences for a lot of this stuff coming up. She-Hulk is in the works.
Yep.
Miss Marvel is in the works.
Yeah, with what's her name? Yeah.
Kamala Khan.
Yep. Kamala.
Yeah. Movie wise, were there any other weirdos like Eternals? Let me see.
Yeah, I know the Doctor Strange movie and the Guardians movie I think are actually announced. I don't know any of the other films off the top of my head.
So I'm looking up the schedule. So it goes Doc Strange. Oh, so yeah, Doc Strange 2 is next.
Yeah.
Then Thor 4.
Yep.
Black Panther 2.
Oh yeah, who knows what's going to go on with that? Yeah, it's been a mess.
The Marvels, whatever that is.
Oh.
Guardians 3, Ant-Man 3. And a confirmed Fantastic Four reboot.
Yeah.
Later.
They have said they're going to do Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I remember they said Fantastic Four and X-Men's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. Yeah. TV shows, they've got Moon Knight. Right, that was cast.
Oh yeah, I want to Moon Knight.
She-Hulk
Yeah, Moon Knight
cast.
has Oscar Isaacs, right? Is he Moon Knight?
Yeah. A fucking Agatha spinoff from WandaVision.
Oh yeah. People
a whole
love
series for her.
I don't know about that. I will definitely watch Moon Knight because I love me. I love me
at this point, let's be honest. Like I still think Marvel puts out more hits than misses, but at this point, they're just another Disney franchise. This is Star Wars. They're just spinning it off as much as they can to make as much money as they can, right? Like Mando was just a fucking vehicle for a bunch of other spin-offs, and we're just gonna see it keep increasing. Like I don't know how to feel about a Boba Fett spin-off that's coming.
It looks good. It looks so fucking good.
There's literally there's nothing else to watch. Why not?
Yeah. But yeah, and it can be that and also be good. Like, right, I mean, Mandalorian, both the seasons of The Mandalorian, really good. Star Wars, right?
I don't know if I enjoyed that season finale for 2.
For season
that feels
2?
like, yeah, that feels like what we were talking about. How like the new Spider-Man movie is very fan servicey.
Oh yeah,
for old fans.
yeah.
This one was.
Well, that's Mandalorian. The Mandalorian's been kind of for your generation 1 and 2 fans. I guess maybe your generation 1 and 3 fans.
The season 2 finale was a little much. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not target audience.
Yeah. But we'll see. Like you said.
Yeah.
What else are you gonna watch?
What else am I gonna watch? Actually, probably a million things, but honestly,
shows, cooking shows.
This is what we were talking. Don't be a fence sitter. Can't possibly watch every TV show.
No,
every good TV show coming out in the universe. You gotta pick and choose what's worth your time.
But the thing with Star Wars too is, right, why keep advancing, in the future or creating these new things when you can just play in the world that has been created. And so, you can make shows and movies in that world and have fun with it and make good stuff. And Marvel's the same way. You have this great sandbox. You can do all kinds of things. You can throw different characters together, and you can just. It doesn't. Not every superhero movie has to be origin, conflict. You can get away from that arc now, and you can just have fun with things, and that can create some interesting movies, and it has. And so and interesting TV shows, and it has. And so let's keep doing that. And right, some are going to hit, and some I'm going to like some, and you're going to like some, and I'm going to hate some, and you're going to hate some, and that's okay. That will be okay. And some things suck, like Spider-Man 3. The Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2.
The hipster in me wants to say, if I go back, will I appreciate it more than I did when I saw it in theaters like 20 fucking years ago?
Spider-Man 3? Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
Sandman, I liked. So the problem with Spider-Man 3 was just too much.
Memes from Spider-Man 3. So many.
There are quality memes. But to actually sit down and watch the movie is a different experience. It's just too much, right? Like too much. That X-Men 3 kind of did the same thing. Instead of picking
X-Men 3, I will defend.
X-Men 3.
I will defend it because Fraser played Beast.
No, that was good.
I will watch the movie every time just to see
Fraser. That was good.
Blue Fraser, that's genius casting.
Yeah,
Come on.
That was excellent.
Fraser as Beast did not miss. That did not miss.
But the problem with Spider-Man 3 was you had a new Green Goblin, you had Venom, you had Sandman, you had the Spider-Man No More storyline. Instead of they could have just done Spider-Man No More and had one enemy. Did you know that the latest Spider-Man movie that's based on, what was it? That's like One More Day? No, Brand New Day. One of those. There was an arc, where he magics everyone. He makes a deal with the devil to forget. Oh yeah, right. Yeah,
that was such a shit.
Yep, that was a terrible storyline. Yes,
and that's what I'm saying. Like right now, Marvel is deep mining for some storylines, and a lot of them were infamously shit in the comics, but they're making them good in the movies. So like the Hawkeye one and the Spider-Man one, shit comics, but great movies. So you can't really trust the source material anymore, I guess, right?
Yeah. No, right. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, but too much. I did like Sandman. I thought I liked the Sandman story.
I hated
you hate Sandman?
No, I hated the storyline they gave him because it was like, he was the guys. Spoilers for Spider-Man 3, a movie that came out
a bad movie that came out
20 years ago. That he was the original Uncle Ben killer.
That was
gross.
That was you're right. That was a bit heavy-handed.
That was so shitty. Right. I hated that.
Yeah, you're right. That was a bit heavy-handed. Yeah. Yeah. But still better than Topher Grace as Venom. That was terrible.
You know what? I didn't. In hindsight, I think I can forgive Topher Grace Venom because they were going for Ultimate Spider-Man, where it was basically just a dark Peter Parker. So it was like a mirror Peter Parker. So another scrawny nerd,
right,
with a vengeance. It's not the worst fit. I could take it. I think it was okay. Better than Sandman killing Uncle Ben. That I don't know.
No, that was that was rough.
That was the worst one.
Yeah.
But no, they take a lot of things from Ultimate for better for worse, and I think those are all the things we hate. So like, Ultimate Spider-Man influenced Topher Grace Venom, the wimpy, nerdy Venom, Eddie Brock.
Yep.
And then Amazing Spider-Man was very Ultimates with the too cool for school millennial Spider-Man who was skateboarding all the time and
No, I mean Ultimate Spider-Man was I guess maybe. I was going to say more the Into the Spider-Verse kind of dealt with the Ultimate Spider-Man to Miles Morales Ultimate Spider-Man, because that's Ultimate Spider-Man universe. That was
eventually right. That was eventually, but I mean it was still Peter Parker for a while.
Yeah, he was a nerd. He wasn't like hipster like goth. I mean that's not Andrew Garfield wasn't like, but he was like that. He was like that kid that was going to shoot up the school, right? Like he was like one of those kids, right? No, but right, like that's what they were going for, right? Like he was like one bad day away from cracking, right?
Oh my god!
Yeah. So that's a different approach, post Columbine, different approach. So
hey, BC says Ultimate had the alternative Carnage as well that I sim for. What was Ultimate Carnage like? I don't think I made it that far. Actually, BC, I'm super surprised you read the Ultimate series. Ultimate was I'm too old for Ultimate. I remember Ultimate was a bid for like a younger, fresher reboot of Marvel, but I was I love the classic Marvel, so I didn't really like all the new takes on the Ultimates did. But I know people really loved Ultimate Spider-Man, and I know that like the MCU takes a lot of their costume designs from Ultimate, but the characters are very original 616. But they borrow from Ultimates a lot, right?
I actually liked. I mean, I read Ultimate Avengers.
No, that was a shit show, I think.
I read Ultimate Avengers. I read some Ultimate Spider-Man. I liked Ultimate Fantastic Four, actually. Ultimate Avengers was a little too
edgy?
Yeah, too edgy to be edgy. Like we were in that era of like, let's make Hank Pym abuse Wasp.
Like he did that in the originals too.
Yeah, but like
that's what he's famous for.
Yeah, but like
legacy to white
but like
Peter.
But like a little. Well, that was in that era of comic books where everybody was it was a little too edgy to be edgy, and the MCU kind of retcon. They took a lot from Ultimates, but made it fun and more interesting. But I read a lot of Ultimate Fantastic Four, and that's one of my favorite Fantastic Fours is Ultimate Fantastic Four.
I think based on current Marvel comics, that like Ultimate Reed Richards became kind of an evil scientist. Apparently, by the end of the run, he became evil. As in, like, he was that mad scientist that believed in high science for the greater good over
I could see that.
Regular people.
Because Ultimate Fantastic Four starts when they're kids. They're all like teenagers, and so that's kind of what I thought they were going to do with the last reboot, and they just completely screwed that up. Because I think that's a good way to start the Fantastic Four, to make it a little bit more interesting. I mean, they are kind of like these, nerdy kids, like these geniuses, but they're coming across, alternate dimensions as opposed to, space and all that kind of stuff. So it would fit really well in with the multiverse stuff.
Yeah. So did he ultimately become evil? Because so in the recent
Yeah, I've not. I
Oh, well, just so
have
in
no
the
idea.
recent Marvel comics, in the last like 5 years or so, they did some universe merge
Oh, okay.
where they merged with the Ultimates universe, and
Uh-huh.
they were fighting it out to see which universe. So it was just a cheap gimmick to say, hey, we're
Right.
taking what we liked of the Ultimates and putting it into the 616 and making it canon.
Right.
And so several people became from the Ultimates became permanent residents of the canon,
Hmm.
like Miles Morales is
Oh,
now
okay.
Spider-Man, and and like Ultimate Reed Richards is one of the major supervillains now.
Oh, well. Yeah.
But yeah, like they migrated a lot of Ultimate characters into the continuity as canon characters.
Hmm. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, talking about Carnage, Maximum Carnage must have come out not too long after, or even I must have been just right after the that Venom story, the Protector storyline was when Maximum Carnage came out. That was a messed up book. Anyway, I think I still have that too. Yeah. No, I haven't been keeping up on comics, so I'm well out of date
Oh no,
on anything.
honestly I'm a fake fan. The only things I hear now are when I visit my usual like nerd news site and they talk about a big headline or something.
Yeah.
BC can't join us. I was gonna ask him. I wanted his Zoomer take on comics because he said that he grew up with the Ultimate Marvel.
Yeah, no,
So I wanted to
I guess
hear like
he was probably a kid, right, when
yeah. So I would love to hear. That's like Mark as a Star Wars fan getting the perspective of another Star Wars fan that grew up with like the original trilogy or the new trilogy, right? Like
well,
I would love to hear
there
both
are, yeah, there
from.
are. I mean, there are in the Star Wars fandom. It's a little easier to break it down than comic books, obviously, because comic books have been around a long and don't have clear delineations. But Star Wars is pretty easy because if you were alive when the original films came out, that's one group of people, and then if you were alive in between the original films and the prequels, and you read the books, the expanded universe. That's another group. Then you have the prequel generation. Then you have the Clone Wars generation. Now you have the Disney generation. And so you have pretty clear delineation in those groups and what they, because I mean, there are people who, obviously, I'm an original trilogy fan. I saw Star Wars, I saw Return of the Jedi in the movie theater in its original run. My brother saw Star Wars in the movie theater in its original run and could recite it by the time I was born. So I kind of grew up with that. But yeah, I went to, I knew people that spent time with the expanded universe. And so when Disney took over and killed the expanded universe, they were all up in arms because that's my Star Wars. And why are they messing around with my Star Wars? And there are people, I saw the prequel trilogy when I was an adult. 1999. I was 18 when it came out. When I guess I was 17 when Phantom Menace came out. So I saw it in the movie theater, like, who the hell is Jar Jar Binks, and what the hell is this shit show? But there were little kids laughing their asses off, and they grew up, and that's their Star Wars. And then there were
Jar
kids
Jar.
after that the Clone Wars, the Clone Wars cartoon, man, that was my Star Wars, and I loved Anakin and Obi-Wan, and I didn't even know who Luke Skywalker was because they had never seen the movies. Yeah, so the thing but it is interesting because I have little kids, and so like my kids who grew up, my sons. I'm trying to think which ones. I think my oldest son has seen all the Disney Star Wars films in the theater. My youngest son may not have seen The Force Awakens in the movie theater. He may not have been alive yet. I'm pretty sure he saw Last Jedi because they both saw Last Jedi in the movie theater. Well, I was in Florida because we had tickets to go see it on opening night, like at midnight, and I was called away to a business meeting in Florida, and they went by themselves. Well, they went with other people, with friends. They went with my friends and saw the movie, my two children, as they're little kids at this point, on opening night. And so I came home. I said, if either one of you say anything about the movie, I will murder you in your sleep. But so, I mean, again, my kids love the prequels. Even though they grew up in the Disney era of films, they love the prequels. Those are the films they connect most with, and the Clone Wars. My son, again, my youngest son, there just might be something wrong with him. He loves Episode 2. I cannot stand Episode 2. I think it is the worst of the entire franchise. It is the only Star Wars film I cannot actually sit through the entire film. I think it is so badly edited that it's painful for me to watch it.
Which one was 2?
The Attack of the Clones.
Is that the one where they fight Jango Fett?
Yeah. I love
So that's kind of cool. The Clone World was kind of cool. Is that the one where they're in the arena?
Yep, that's the one where they're in the arena. You're forgetting the horrible love story, and
I choose not to.
Yeah,
remember
there
that.
are redeeming parts. It's just really weirdly edited. It was kind of a mess when it came out, but he loves that. That's his favorite. He'd watch that over and over again. I don't know.
People like what they like. Stop shaming them.
No, it's not like I deleted it from the TV and like you can't watch this. He watches it.
At least when he says Episode 2 is his favorite, he watches it over and over. It's not like saying Jegrans your favorite and then not greening him, right? Like those are the worst kinds of people.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, we're not making jokes. We're just saying things.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is every podcast should be like this. Yeah, in the post show. This is the post show. That's what this is for. But this is going to be the end of the post show because tomorrow's a pretty big day because I have church at 5, at 8, and at 11, and have family coming over in between those times, and then I have children who are going to be up till midnight, and then Christmas the next day. So, it's going to be kind of a crazy day. And I'm going to try to get my kids up early in the morning and get haircuts because we couldn't get haircuts today. Everybody's booked. So there you go. Yeah, you can tell this is the post show. There you go. It is the post show. Well, thank you, everybody, for filling in and hanging out and listening to our geek talk and everything else. And, we talked Jegran trash in the main show, too. There's always time for Jegran trashing. But hey, we'll let you know about next week. I might not be able to be here, so we'll let you know what's going on. And if we don't see you, have a happy holiday, have a happy new year, and we'll see you all